Okay, thank you, and we'll see you at 2 o'clock.
You can't see him.
Ciao.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade During the Midday. That is your boy, Joey Dang Options.
Also known as John Cena.
Dun, 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 dun.
You can't see me.
You flipped heel now, bro. What's going on? I heard you flipped heel. The Katina Man was at that. You know about that?
No.
John Cena flipped heel, correct? The Katina Man has confirmed it. He was at
I don't even know what that
location.
means.
Means
Flipped
he's a
heel.
bad guy now.
Is he a bad
Babyface
guy?
and heel. That
Oh,
means
so
good
like
guy,
the
bad
like
guy.
New World Order, right?
NW. I'm losing my mind. What's up in TSLA? Lionel Flores, Andrew Chow, and Tiger the Cosmic Cat. Meow. We got Dino, we got DLV, we got Pax, the Corleone family, we got Bovin. How about White, Nubian King, and Matt G? Shout out to Stuart. And Notorious G88. We got Stevie B. We got Bro, Kalua. Who else? Charmine Khan. Why not? Los Palomas, Hermanos, Gladys G. We got Easy Media, Dinkelberg, and Farm Boy. Shout out to Muhammad and Mary, Junior Son, Ronaldo, Sam L, The Skips, Glenn Smith, 1320. Oh, Miss A. We got, oh man, it's moving too quick.
Moving quick,
We
man.
got Adrian, we got Roger, we got Diggity, Jacobs, Venado, Tez, Farmer Boy R, DJ Resky. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Everything's good. Vern, Frank Hong, Midday Rester. What? Courtney Blake, you can't rest midday. That's when we're trading, baby. Juan Padilla, Cleo 3, Venado. Shout out to Adara. Fred Lou. We got, who else? Fred Lou's spamming the chat, bro. Chill, Fred. Just because you're from Canada doesn't mean you can't spam this chat. One more. Indeed Money. And then that's the tariff, said Katina Man. Indeed Money and Lo-Fi Soul, as opposed to, hi-fi.
I'm a big lo-fi.
High fidelity.
Big lo-fi. I like lo-fi.
low fidelity, huh?
Yeah, I like lo-fi girl. You listen to lo-fi?
baby.
No, I guess you don't listen to lo-fi
Bro,
girl.
I
right?
told you this
that's
already.
all right,
I'm
man. The
100,
ancient
and I can't help the fact that I'm aging, bro.
Well, I said I'm referring to I'm on one yesterday, and you gave me that that blank stare there, like what are you talking
I don't
about,
know,
bro?
Joseph, I'm not gonna lie, I just don't know.
Whatever. All right, man, my guy. So this is what we got cooking up here today, thus far, guys. We'll pull up my screen here real quick. Okay, let's see what we got going on here real quick first. Then what we got here is some TQQs, and then we traded some JD, but we'll talk about JD right after we get back from Adara.
Sure, guys, I just want to let you guys know, especially those of you who trade these smaller names, Gorilla, G-R-R-R, G-triple-R. This one dropped here. There was a short report coming through here online. Then, that was about 7 minutes ago. Just now here, Citron Research, which is run by Andrew Left. That is the individual and group that was pretty heavily shorting GameStop as of the short squeeze, and then again in 2024. Citron Research reposted this short report saying, quote, "This is just the tip of the iceberg on this one. If you don't recall, the short note on MSTR from Citron Research sent the stock down $100 from its all-time high in a single day. So Citron Research can move the market, posting, I guess, echoing this GRRR short report. So GRRR getting 2 negative notes today, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. Go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah, guys. All right, so this is what we got cooking up for this session thus far. So a nice little trade on the TQQs here. These are 2 separate trades, guys. So this is this is my last out around here, and then we just added here for the break of the high day, and then the continuing to the top side, and we've now pulled back. And then now let's take a look at JD as well to see what we cooked up on this name here as well. But yeah, guys, same thing. It sold off after, so a nice break of VWAP, and then the continuation to the top side. I mean, the report was pretty good. I like it. China's trading relatively better than the NAS and NYSE Amex, whatever. They're up higher year to date significantly. So I'm like, okay, let's just follow the strength, especially when you have an earnings report. You just want to try to continue because price actions tends to be a little bit more orderly, and we like that. But we got a lesson today, Sharif. We're going to be talking some options, right?
Dude, I want to know what that head and shoulders pattern that you have on your screen there is like.
On
can we
JD
show your
here.
screen?
Yeah, on JD here.
What the hell? That's a
shoulder
beauty. Can
one,
we
head,
maximize
shoulder
that?
two. Yeah.
Right there.
We'll see if we can do
Do
here.
we have an uptrend preceding it? Nah.
No, it was a downtrend.
staying.
Yeah,
That makes no
downtrend. But I didn't even recognize that until you mentioned it here. So very, very good point there, Sharif. And then you have a break of a nice support level right here as well too.
Yeah.
So there you go,
Neckline,
break of that neckline there. So way to point that out. I didn't even look at it in that aspect. This is pre-market trading, and then right out the open there, you get shoulder one, head, and then shoulder two right there. So yeah, good luck there, my friend.
Sir.
You want to cover something before we hop in?
We got these are the small cap gappers we've got in feud today. As you can see, GV is giving up the ghost. It's the top left-hand corner. It might lose its spot on the side chart awfully soon. But we got a holdover from yesterday. It goes by the ticker TNXP. It's up 50 points. It's trading at the day's high. It just rejected 17. I like it off 1550, hence the 10 exponential. Rigetti knees are heavy. It doesn't need to make any sense to you. Bad report, good report, it doesn't matter. Quantum's in vogue right now, and this bad boy is up 9.5% despite the bad report, so we're going to keep that on watch. Astis, ASTS, as well on watch. It's only up 2%, but it's a multi-day runner, and a one we know is kind of like a high flyer. It has that history. It's a repeat offender, so I'm going to keep my eye on this one. Getting a bit expensive now as it moves up. So we're going to have to size in appropriately. ALXO, kind of doing a bull flag here, doing the dance with no pants with this $1.25. Seems to have a range between $1.28 and $1.35 with this outlining area. Good move, up 28%. We'll keep an eye on that. SG, another bull flag looking name. However, it is breaking down below the volume weighted average price. It will have to maintain its price level above it for me to stay interested. Viking Therapeutics up and to the right. VKTX, not even touching the 10 exponential. The last time we even glanced that way was like 9:35. So it's been an hour and change, an hour and a half since we've touched that. And last but not least, Teledoc, T-Doc. Not one that I typically trade, but it's got a good price. It's obviously not a small cap gapper. Up and to the right, Joseph, up 8 1/3. These are the ones I'm watching.
Bang. All right, yeah, let's go here, guys. We got a good lesson here today. So just make sure you are paying attention. I know a lot of traders like to talk about this stuff, calls and put walls. So this is what we're going to do on today's option lesson, all right? So we talked about what did we talk about on Tuesday on the options? Anyway, yeah, that's short term. Anyways, guys, we're gonna worry about right now. I did the lesson. I'm trying to ask you what I did. Anyways, but here we go, guys. Call and put walls. This is what we want to pay attention to. All right, so guys, let's get right in. In options trading, call walls and put walls refer to price levels where there's a significant concentration of open interest in call or put options. These levels often act as support or resistance in the market due to hedging activity by market makers and traders, okay? So one, understanding call walls and put walls. So what is a call wall? A price level where there's an extreme high amount of call open interest. Very simplistic, okay? We went over some examples and we're gonna go do that shortly. So it acts as resistance because many traders have bet that the price will not go beyond this level. So if you're looking at the call side and you see an outsized number of open interest, that can act as a resistance zone. And what we need to do to get through that resistance zone, someone needs to absorb that liquidity. But if there's too much, you need a big participant. That's why it acts as a resistance level, all right? So market makers may sell calls at this level and hedge by shorting the underlying asset, reinforcing the resistance, okay? So it gets a really tough wall to go through resistance-wise, okay? So keep that in mind. So a put wall, a price level where there's an extreme high amount of put open interest, so the complete inverse of that, okay? This can act as support because many traders have bet that the price will not drop below this level, okay? Market makers may sell puts at this level and hedge by buying underlying assets, reinforcing support. So, okay, so when they say they're buying they're going long, right? So when they sell puts, you're synthetically long. You're essentially long because you're on the inverse of what a put is. If you buy a put, that means you want to go short, okay? If you sell a put, that means you have a long buy. So example, if a stock is trading at $95 and there is a massive call wall at 100, price may struggle to break above 100 due to resistance created by hedging dynamics and options positioning, okay? So that's really key to important. And we recognized this there on NVDA the other day. At 140 on the call and the put wall, call and put side, there there was an extreme amount of open interest, exceeding as high as 134,000 on the call side of open contracts. So times 134,000 by 100, and then 80-something thousand, around 87 to 90,000 on the put side. So what that does is just causes complete pinning within the underlying asset, and that's why NVDA had the inability to break through 140. Okay, so what is open interest and how it relates to call put walls? All right, so open interest is the total number of outstanding options contracts that have not yet been closed or exercised. All right, it is slightly different than volume. Okay, open interest will maintain, but volume will reset every day, all right? So if you go to an expiration cycle, that open interest is maintained throughout the whole duration, the whole lifespan of that contract, where volume will vary from day to day, all right? So high open interest at certain strike prices, that level is significant because many traders have placed trades at that specific strike, okay? So high open interest in calls, possible resistance equals a call wall, and then high open interest in puts, possible support equals a put wall. All right, so how open interest affects price movement. If OI decreases, it means positions are being closed. Market sentiment is weakening at that level. So with our NVDA example, if you've seen that 134,000 start to dwindle as you get closer to expiration or even throughout the lifespan of it, this can give you some more confidence and more confluence within your trading, like, hey, we may exceed this strike price, okay? So if OI at the $100 strike for calls is large, market makers may hedge by shorting the stock as price approaches $100, making it harder to break through. If OI at the $90 strike for puts is massive, market makers may hedge by buying the stock near $90, creating even more support, okay? So this is our NVDA example leading into earnings. This grew, so this is an outdated picture. This was a couple days before this expiration cycle, and it was on a Wednesday, okay? So keep that in mind, okay, guys? So what happened here is that at 140, leading into the earnings report, we had these massive sizes of open interest on the call and the put side. You don't often see that, and a lot of traders said, hey, Joe, look at that 150 strike price. We have a lot of open interest there as well, too. And I said, hey, yeah, you're not wrong. But one, look at the put side, look at the open interest on the put side, right? And then one thing to also note is that in order for us to get to 150, we have to break through the 140 level, and someone needs to absorb all that liquidity at that 140 strike price, as we can see here, which took a lot. And you know, from it, considering the event already happened, we had the inability to break through. And then yesterday, I believe, or the day before, we traded as low as 109. Okay. So 3, how large and call and put walls impact market sentiment? A large call wall, bearish/neutral bias, indicating strong resistance. Traders expect price not to break above this level. Okay. Market makers hedge by shorting the underlying asset, reinforcing resistance. If price breaks above a major call wall, market makers must cover the shorts, leading to a potential gamma squeeze, rapid price increase. So what happens in a gamma squeeze? That's when all these traders who have these out the money contracts, now we're starting to trade at the money and in the money, and that's when gamma is at its greatest, and that's when you can see that squeeze type price action, all right? So example, if SPY has a huge call wall at $500, traders expect price to struggle to go beyond it. If SPY starts breaking above 500, it could force call sellers to hedge by buying SPY, causing a short squeeze higher. We're gonna stop here, guys, because I'm pretty sure Sharif's got some stuff cooking up there.
Yes,
we got
sir.
a couple more slides to go through, and then we'll finish the lesson of the day in an hour or so, all right, guys?
All right.
If you have any questions, if you have any questions, just put them in the chat.
Yes, sir. Great look there, Joe. Guys, TNXP is really going here. So we got long at 17s, the wet the beak all the way up to 50. Look, we traded this badly. Didn't think it was going to go so directional. I had a dip trade, set it up at 16.25 for the 10 exponential. It's not even looking that way, okay? So we take 50 pennies quick as you like on TNXP, but it's still not a good trade. We'll do a little bit better. Up 62%. It's a monster name. Keep your eye out on this one. It is going. It's very directional. It's very strong, and it behooves me to give you the details on it. TNXP, here they are. TNXP. Typed it in wrong. Am I in this position yet? No, not yet. Okay. So TNXP, $92 million market cap, 8.17 million shares traded on the day with a float of 9.5 million shares. What does Trade Idea say? It tells me 1.87 million shares on TNXP with about 6% short float there. That's what we're talking about on, what's it called? Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Sure. So good look. Let's see if it can come back down to shadow the 10 exponential. I'm waiting for a dip trade here on Viking Therapeutics, another strong one, another one that's been respectful of the 10 exponential. It's a bit spreadier of a name, 6 penny spread on a $30 name. Not bad, but not filling me to the downside. Get it, Adara. All right, so we're going to keep an eye out on that one. And then we're also involved right now in this one, ALXO. I'm looking at what the beak there at 40. We're long 37s. Already took a little bit of a profit touch there. It's having trouble with that 40 penny level. Let's see if it's able to cross. There is a nice move up on this one and a nice bull flag and a hold of the volume weighted average price. Alas, I'm going unfilled here at the 40 penny level despite being on it on the ask. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. Those three names, we're talking about TNXP, we're talking about ALXO, we're talking about VKTX, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Rigetti knees or heavy, because this one is just so directional and so respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5 that, I feel really silly not having gotten into that. While Joe was dropping hot lines in the lesson. So Rigetti up and to the right, very nice upward channel, bull flag kind of continuation with an aggressive consolidation area. Not even really consolidation, it's an upward channel for sure. So we got a couple of prints there nicely on ALXO, please as dang punch. Let's set up another beak wetter. We're going to wait at 42s to front run the high of the day. So I'm still unfilled at the moment over here on my friend Viking Therapeutics. I've been waiting at 20s. It's showing me 20s, but we're not getting filled because of the spread. So that's okay. Yeah, I can jump in here. I don't know. It's holding the 10. That's the thing. And the 10 is dynamic. So I throw my order out where the 10 was, and then it doesn't cross because the 10 is dynamic, as I mentioned. So here we go. We're going to wait at, let's see if we can get maybe 25s. I'm going to wait here for a 25 print. We'll see if we can get something in and around there. So those are the looks I got at them. Wow, TNXB, bro, you got to chill. You got to come down to support level, man. What is this thing doing? Here we go. 69% incoming here for TNXP. It's got a smaller float. It's not the biggest short float we've ever seen, that's for certain. But how we weasel into this, an entirely different story. I was in at 17. I really should have been holding on this monster. I don't know if Tisha's in the chat right now. Tisha, what are you looking at? How do you feel about TNXP here? What's your move? Are you waiting for a moving average, or are you just punching in and moving with the strength on maybe just like a micro pullback? Here we're getting a pullback right now into 18s. So not a bad look right now on TNXP. I just don't want to punch in at highs, Joseph. It's just not my move, man.
Good news. Good idea.
Yeah, it's no good.
It's no good.
Yeah, we're still going unfilled over here on Viking. So we're just going to punch in at the highs, and I'm going to try to take a mid print here at 33s. There it lets me in. So now we're long at 33s. It's not what I wanted to do, guys. I really did not want to be punching in at highs. I had a bunch of dip trades all set up the way, just like how I like them. Dropping euros in the chat, baby. Shout out to Clutch. Thank you for the 2 euro super chat. Thoughts on LNXP earnings tonight? Let's have a look. So let's load up the chart over here. LNXP. LNXP? Okay, I think I typed it in right. LNXP. No, my friend. Don't super chat again. I think you typed in the ticker wrong. Just tag Joe or I. You don't have to super chat again. Let me know which one you want to look at because that one is an incorrect ticker. Unless you maybe, I don't know. Unless I'm not getting anything on it. And I have all the gateways for Europe and stuff like that. So if it was there, I would know. So just tag Joe or I again. What's that? Clutched. And I will give you my opinion on that. No problem at all. All right, so that's the look right now, guys. We're involved in We're involved in Viking. We're involved in ALXO. Got a couple of beak wetters here on Viking. Nothing yet on, on ALXO. Nothing yet on Viking. And we traded Astis to the high side, TNXP to the high side. It is now coming down. Here we go, topping tail into 1863. Not a bad look. Now, here's the deal. I'm probably going to wait at 16.5. 16.5 is a 10 exponential moving average. In fact, it's a little bit lower than that. The reason I want to do that is because I want to front run it, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait at 55s. See, come what may, I'm going to have to give this to 16, okay? Because it can zig, it can zag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw out my order right now for my stop there on TNXP. So there, we'll throw that on there. That's it there. We have Viking. We got the fills. Okay, so now we got $0.25 here on Viking on the dip trade. So let's go ahead and set up some orders to the high side over here if we can. How many shares? Yeah, we got good amount of shares there on Viking. Joseph, what do you got?
Dang, yeah. We're in some JD here, guys. Looking to play some continuation to the top side here. If we break 43.60, then I'm just going to get out of this trade, because what I was looking for is just a nice ABCD pattern. But you can see we ran into some prior resistance here, guys. So we got to really pay attention to this. So just below this support zone here, we're going to hop out of the trade if it breaks, and then that's it. So we'll aim for a target at VWAP, and then we have an out right around here, around 43.60, because this is the support zone I'm going to use. If a liquidity grabs down here and then decides to want to go again, then I'm just going to hop right back in. Clutch Ed said, LXRX. He said that there. Don't worry, Sharif's going to take good care of you. As these big names start pulling in here, Sharif, Amazon selling back through the volume weighted average price. The Q's coming back in as well too. Apple holding relatively strong, but also coming in as well here, guys. And then the SPY also pulling back too. So let's see if these Chinese ADRs are going to play out and be relatively strong. Let's take a look at JD from a daily perspective, because we know that China's been performing extremely well. So let's see where we stand here, guys. Sorry about that. Let's see where we stand on this front. And cook it up. All right, so yeah, this is a look. So again, nice breakout here above this, but then a lot of choppiness around here. And then during the earnings report this morning, we couldn't really crack this high here, but now pulling back in. Solid report, but again, we'll hold off on this. We'll wait to see if we can continue to climb higher and higher. Still positive on the session, up about 0.25% here, guys. So we like JD on today's session. The reason why I was looking at it popped up on my scanner, one, because of earnings, and it was trading above a specific cam structure that I like. It's R6 breakout, because they tend to continue a little bit higher because you're in new price discovery from an intraday standpoint. FXI was on my radar as well too, guys, because it was sitting on top of R4, so I'll pull up FXI for you guys to see how it's trading on the day, and it was relatively weak. So around this level is R4 in the pre-market. I don't have them up here, but then it just continued to sell off as the overall market was rallying. I guess the American market was rallying. So that is JD and TQQ. But yeah, I'm going to continue to monitor some of these names. Let me know what you guys are looking at. We'll go over some things for you for sure. Zscaler half decently traded this yesterday evening. Good report as well too. Cybersecurity, do you think it's taking some market share from CrowdStrike there after that outage? So yeah, you got a good look there on Zscaler. So a bit choppy. It's not the most liquid stock as well too, guys. Keep that in mind. So to trade this name, slightly spready. I know Adara likes that. Let's see what we got for it. Oh, not crazy. Nothing crazy. Only about a 3-cent spread. So that is Zscaler. Sharif Joe, possible double top of the day on regular trading hours on the ES. Yeah, I see what you're looking at here. Possible double top. Nice wick here. Not had the inability to crack through. Touch some of these prior wicks here on yesterday's post-market, so we'll keep that in mind as well too, guys. I was thinking that, hey, maybe we come into this post-market support level, but not just yet. It may take some time to crawl up there. We're going to be patient. We're going to pack our patience, especially here on JD. Sharif, what do you got cooking up, my guy?
We're in TNXP. We're at 55s. We've been scalping up a storm as it dips down, getting the fills on the dip down, and then taking profits on the way up. Trying not to exhaust all the shares that we have, because I am kind of bullish on this name right now with that 16 $1.25 being an area resistance previously, looking for it to act as support. At the moment, here we go. I'm waiting at 82s, popping back up into 78s. Already scalped a little bit, but we're getting some downward pressure right now on TNXP. Let's see if we can get a pop up and getting filled at 82s. Adara, what's up?
Apple's on watch here, Sharif. Ming-Chi Kuo earlier today commenting about Apple. You can find out more on our watch list. He dropped some more comments about Apple. He said that the exclusive supplier here of the MEMS oscillators for Apple's in-house modem, this is SI Time, is apparently set for robust growth in coming years driven by new orders. So supply chain analyst Ming-Chi Kuo is saying that Apple's apparently, the supplier of part of Apple's in-house modems is set for growth coming forward here, guys. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. Yeah, still dealing with this TNXP trade. It's nor tanking, nor really popping off. It's at the 10 exponential, which I like, obviously, because that's kind of a little bit of my move there for these pullbacks. It's going to have to hold up at this area, though. And the buying has kind of dried up a little bit. You can always kind of reflect to see what kind of volume we're getting in on these bad boys just by looking at the level 2. There we go. We get the print at 77s. Not a bad look there. Now I'm waiting a little bit higher. Let's pack our patience here to see if we can extract some more profitability on the bang to the high side. Aw, Joseph, man, I always over-enter the amount of shares. So frustrating. I'm getting back in. I don't care. All right, so we're back into this monster. Let's see if we can get something around 17s and change. 17 is a bit of a tougher level, obviously being the whole dollar and stuff like that. So we'll see. And besides, I was watching this at 17 on the way down initially. It looks like somebody of note with a bigger position has been kind of keeping this bad boy down below 17s for a little bit, not that long. So let's see if we can get something above that 16 area. What I want to do is I don't want to give up too much here. So if we drop back down, I'm going to put 59s and then we'll go like that. So we'll look to defend that level. Now I have to deal with another trade here that is not going my way. This is doing really well, ALXO, but it's this trade now that I have to be careful with. I'm talking about Viking Therapeutics. It's coming down into 30. So now we've got 30, 20. It's showing me 16. So we're 4 pennies out of the money. It's going to have to hold this general area. Okay. I'm not going to be DCAing into this until, you know, whatever, some sort of expression that I can't come up with in my mind right now. So that's what we're going to do. We got shares on this one as well. So let's put something at the $0.25 to see if we can extract some profitability if it is to get a little bit of a pump up there. So 3 positions right now. ALXO at 37s. That's doing well. It worked close to the high of the day. Viking Therapeutics, we'll find out about how this one does. And then, TNXP dropped down, so I did get stopped out for the small amount that I had there. Still positive on it, though. Definitely looking to do a little bit better. We'll do this. We'll just do that. Fine.
Devin
no
Haney,
worries.
man.
The Devin Haney. Devin Haney. What a guy, bro.
Devin Haney.
That's what we're involved in right now, Jody.
All right, yeah, I'm going to keep my eye up here on IBIT as well, too, guys. We traded as high as 93K on the day. So are we going to turn around at some point? Maybe, possibly, hopefully. I was telling Sharif earlier this morning, I'm like, hey, this might be the time where we go and test those all-time highs, the period that we go and test those all-time highs, and then just continue to climb higher. You know, we're running into some key support zones. If I pull up Bitcoin here, we can see that, hey, this is a key level. Like, this isn't going to be easy to punch through, right? Like, this is by no means this is almost like a call or put wall in itself, right? Considering we're talking about them. So this is going to be difficult in order for us to get through. We're going to need momentum, and we're going to need an extreme amount of volume to step in order for us to punch through and then to continue to climb higher. But here we go in JD here, starting to squeeze a little bit here, climbing higher and higher. Let's go, JD. A couple pennies in the money there, looking pretty good. But here we go back onto some Bitcoin. And that's my narrative, right? I'm like, hey, we're sitting up on top of this zone. This candle isn't genuine on this print, but if you look at this day on a different chart, whatever charting platform you may use, TradingView, whatever it may be, you can see that this closes as a hammer, right? And now we haven't broken through that to the downside. We're now sitting on top of these zones and opening up on top of these zones. So come Friday, which is tomorrow, if we get something extremely positive coming from Donald on this reserve, this is going to absolutely go parabolic, in my opinion. Could I be wrong? Most definitely, absolutely, I could be wrong. But I think that's going to be the case. If we head mid-zone, and our next target's going to be probably 100K. And I told you it's nothing for Bitcoin to put in those 100K days. So just keep that, 10K days, sorry. So it's nothing for it to move 10K in a day. And then if it really wants to go parabolic, that's when you're going to go and put in a new all-time high. But let's see what Adair's up to, guys.
We just had this move here coming through. Donald Trump announcing here that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the U.S., Mexico, and Canada trade agreement. This was also reported, seconds earlier. Then Donald Trump has now confirmed it. So Mexico not being required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA. As mentioned earlier today by Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, he estimated that probably roughly 50% of the goods that come from Mexico and Canada are under the USMCA. So looks like a decent amount of these tariffs here are going to be exempt for Mexico. And again, as mentioned earlier, this exemption is likely going to end on April 2nd, 2025. I don't have much up-to-date details on that, though, so the more I find out, I will let you guys know. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. So VKTX, we took a bit of a beak wetter there at the $0.25. Now we have a cost basis of 16s. It's showing me 16 on the level 1. It is not forthcoming to the high side. In fact, the current 5-minute candle that we're on is bearish in my humble opinion because it is a topping till inverse hammer candle. So I am kind of concerned about this one. I have more shares on this one than I have on the other. So this one is of more importance to me. I have my stop placement exactly where I like it. If it gives up the ghost at $30, I'm more interested in it. Less at the 20 and more at the volume weighted average price, which is a little bit lower than the $0.50 right now, probably 29 mid 40s, but I probably front run that at the $0.50. That's my kind of move right there. We'll see what happens there. VKTX, we're back into this one. We're about 10 pennies out of the money on this one. I still have my plain DCA into the volume weighted average price, but it's got 2 candles now defending at 16, bottoming tail candles that go into 16 and bounce off. So we'll see if 16 wants to hold. That's going to be the look there. The other one that we're involved in, ALXO. I've been waiting forever and ever at this 142. It's going unprinted despite the fact that the high of the day is 144. It's showing me 42s right now on the Ask Alas. I'm not getting printed. We're going to have to cross. Adara, what's going on?
Some more context here on that tariff announcement, Sharif. So in case you missed it, Donald Trump was posting about the Mexico being exempt here from some of these tariffs. So just to recap this post, he said that after he spoke to President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico, he's agreed that Mexico will not be having or required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA or the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement until April 2nd. That's when the reciprocal tariffs will go into effect. That's the same deal as well that he gave U.S. automakers. Here's the interesting part. So he says, quote, I did this as an accommodation and out of respect for President Sheinbaum. Our relationship has been a very good one. So, interestingly enough, not mentioning Trudeau or Canada here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with Canada. But interestingly, this seems specifically for Mexico and actually primarily based on his conversations with President Sheinbaum. We're going to have to wait and find out what happens here for Canada. But regardless, right now, anything that falls under the USMCA agreement, which is estimated earlier, roughly 50% of the goods, will not be required to pay tariffs here until April 2nd when everything goes to effect. As I see more updates, I will let you guys know. Back to you.
Get it, Claudia.
Get it, Claudia. Get it,
Yeah,
get it.
She's doing well, good for her. Looking out for her country. Be nice if someone looked out for us. No, I didn't say anything. So we're going to continue to watch here. TNXP. Where are we long? Here's Joseph 69s. I wet the beak there all the way up to 17. So it's going to have to hold VWAP over here. TNXP, the bamboozler in chief, but we're all right on it. Looking to do a little bit better. This one is doing well, though. There we go. We get the break of the high of the day on ALXO. This is my last out, sadly, on this one. We'll take out 46s. Good trade there. Look to do a little bit better because this one, I don't know about this one. I don't know. Viking, I don't know what you're doing over there, Viking, but you're bamboozling me. In any event, we're long 69s right now. I've got my stop through the $0.50. Let's see if Viking can pop up, or sorry, TNXP, excuse me, can pop up through 16 bucks. It's holding at VWAP, but I thought that about the 10 exponential, and it did give way at the 10 exponential. So this one looking like it wants to have a bit of a deeper retracement. We're showing 85s right now. Where am I waiting over here? I'm waiting at 98s. So the fact that I haven't got printed at 98s means it hasn't crossed 16 yet. We'll see if it does. I've layered the orders. Here we go, 92. Let's come on up. 95s now. All right, we're just waiting at 98. So up in this, you know what? Let's see if we can get a print there. Joseph, what do you got on your?
Yeah, same thing here. Cooking up here in JD, guys. One thing I want to just talk about positioning. I'm not in. I'm playing a breakout, right? I mentioned this yesterday time and time again. So if we break this trend line here, which it looks like we're going to right now, then I have to get out of the trade and then just look for another trade. I was hoping that we can continue the pop, but it doesn't seem to be the case. It may want to grab some more liquidity below this zone here, and then maybe it'll take that leg higher. But it's just a slow burner, right? So now you can see that we're opening up below this trend line. We need this to hold here, guys. So it's just kind of bouncing around. So what I decided to do is like, hey, what's IBIT up to? We think that it's relatively strong, and going to look to trade this here as we hover around the volume weighted average price. So I like it right now, right where it stands. So I'm going to hop in just a little bit here on IBIT to see what we can muster up here, because I do also like this 5-minute hammer candle on IBIT. As you can see, this right below the volume weighted average price, slightly isolated, couldn't crack to a new low on this name here, and then traded above VWAP for most of the intraday session. So that is what we're going to continue to look at here on IBIT. I want to sit on top of it before I decide to enter the trade, and we haven't done that yet. Still holding on by a thread here in JD, so not looking too bad. BTC, Johnny H says Rocket Moon, 750 calls, says somebody, Pizza Rat. Okay, I like that. I like that, Pizza Rat. Have you ever had Batty Alley's, Sharif?
No, I haven't.
Wow, it's like the best pizza in the city.
Oof.
Dave Portnoy
yeah, I'm a big fan of carbs, so I go out.
Yeah, I know your guy. Yeah, I know you're about that rice life and the bread. So
nah, I love pizza. No, I've never tried that one. What's it called? Rat Alleys?
Batty Alleys. Rat Alleys. No. Okay, but anyways, guys. Yeah, so Bitcoin's starting to pull in a little bit here. It couldn't crack the volume weighted average price and hold above it, but we're still holding strong here on JD. If we get some volume to step in at some point, then I think we're going to be sitting pretty. We're only up about 0.5%, but it's better than being negative, right? So that is a good sign for this name. And then we'll just hop back into IBIT. So multiple tests. As long as we don't crack this 5-minute hammer candle to the low side, then I'm fairly confident in the setup, and then that we can maybe take multiple tests and then sit above it right here. So as you can see right now, it's having a hard time constructing a new low, and that's what I like to see. So as long as we don't crack here around that 51.20 level, then I think we'll be okay, and look for that long just above the volume weighted average price. We get that elastic effect in the indicator, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. If we hold below it longer, then it's just going to be an invalid thesis, and then we'll just have to find something else that's potentially setting up. I do like that the overall markets are trading around the volume weighted average price, because that's where I like to get in my entries the most. So we'll keep that in mind. Yes, Verne, you asked me to take a look at TXG for you. I'll do that right now. TXG, 10x geonomics. Okay, this is a 10x. I don't think I've ever seen that. Have you seen a 10x levered before,
No,
Sharif?
what?
Yeah, that is insane. I don't even know.
Clearance for that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But what we can see here, guys, from just a basic TA standpoint, is that it's not very liquid, right? So keep that in mind. Again, this is pre and post market, so we'll take that into consideration as well too. But when we open that liquidity comes in, I'm not too familiar with what the company actually does, so we'll take a look at that real quick. But if I'm just looking at this stock from a technical standpoint, I don't want to be necessarily in it just yet. We got a gap here that needs to be filled. But again, buying at the lows and when there's blood in the street isn't obviously a horrible thing either. I'm going to go over what this company actually is before I send it back to my guy, TXG. Oh, no, that's not it. TXG. Sorry for the dramatic pause. All right, guys. So 10x Genomics Inc. Okay, so that's just the name of it. It's not actually 10x. It's a life science technology company. The company integrated solutions, including instruments, consumables, and software for single cell and spatial biology systems. It's a single cell portfolio powered by Chromium. Platform includes Chromium X series, whatever that may be. 1.35 billion market cap, so it's not really that small here. Again, if you're buying and allocating down here, I don't think you can go overly wrong. You have a defined risk profile from a technical standpoint. Other than that, I don't know enough about the company to be like, hey, I think this is a buy. But again, as of right now, not too horrible if you're in at these lows, Sri.
I think we have an IPO because Banger plays. He's like, TBH, big halt up. So it's like, what is this TBH business? And I loaded it up, and it's got no historical data. I just have to deal with, okay, so I just got stopped out for the remaining amount here on TNXP, so we'll give back a little bit there. I was able to get some on the pop-up, but we'll give back a little bit. Let me have a look at TBH. So it's halted up, apparently. Yes, it is halted at $4.24. As you can see, there are not much in the way of data, because this bad boy just opened up at 11:35, so it's 5 minutes deep, and I have no information on it. I just know it's called Bragg House Holdings. Thank you, Adira. I appreciate it. It's done 358,000 shares of volume on the day. Obviously, it's only been open for 5 minutes, so it's not too bad. Let's throw out the ticker there. It goes by the ticker TBH. We'll find out exactly all the other info. What is this? Oh, I got some stuff here. So, media tech platform Bragg House IPO priced at $4 per share. Adira's got it. We're going to send it to her as soon as I get. Ram said whenever. Go ahead, Ram.
To be honest here, some pretty interesting info here on Bragg House Holdings. TBH is the ticker for this one. They are a media and esports platform apparently aimed at casual gamers. So they raised $6 million here by offering 1.5 million shares at $4 per share. So this is definitely a smaller cap. IPO 1.5 mil shares, $4 per share, valued at $42 million based on the pricing of this IPO. Apparently, they're a Gen Z focused platform offering live streaming capabilities, gamification features, and custom tournament services. So definitely geared for gamers. Ramin saying shorted in my ear. And this company did generate about $400,000 in revenue for the last fiscal year. And that the most recent data I have is actually 2023. So unclear what the revenue was 2024. 2023, $400,000 in revenue, valued at $42 million, guys. Back to you.
You know what's
Thank you, Adira.
You know what's funny about this stock here? So Bragg, I believe it was on the TSX at one point.
Really?
Yeah, and my buddy was a big advocate of it years and years ago. Remember I told you that group when I first joined? Yeah, so that was like his #1 pick, and he was all about Bragg. Yeah. So now I guess it's on a different exchange. Yeah, they're on the NASDAQ now. So yeah, big boy stuff there, guys. So yeah, good luck there on Bragg, Sharif. Yeah, was it?
I want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Daily Fix, for $2 super chat. MindMed working on a gap up. I don't know what OI means. What is OI? Do you know what that means? OI, like acronym?
Open interest?
Open interest. Yeah, that's probably you. Open interest at 5, and he doesn't really say. I'm involved in this name, though. I got 6 and change, so I'm almost basically flat on it. That's after having, kind of been up nicely into the $10 area. Alas, I was greedy, and I did not take profits. Okay, TBH, I think it did open up. And then halted again. Let me just make sure. TBH, because it's not updating. It is trading right now. Here we go. So I'll get to MindMed in one hot second. We're still moving around here on TBH. It looks like it's a decent spread, 10, 15 pennies, just basing it on how it's trading at the moment. 465 high a day. The halt level, as you can see there with those little dashes, that's 424. I use the halt level sometimes as an intraday level of support and resistance, but there's really no data to go on here. This is an IPO, so everything is de novo. So trade this carefully. I don't know how to trade IPOs. I'm just going to put that out there flat out. I try to see where the momentum is going, but it's not my cup of tea. So I'll likely not trade this, but if there's a setup of note here, I'll try. But for the most part, probably not. So TBH in focus. Now let's have a look at MindMed. So MindMed, brother, I got to tell you, I'll get Joey options to talk about the open interest and everything like that. But MindMed for me, Ram, please, is stuck in a range. All right. it has different ranges off which it's based. Like that 6.5 area, as you can see, there's multiple 6.5, 7, multiple times that we bounce off this area. We were using it previously as resistance. You can kind of see this period over here where 7, 6.5 acted as resistance previously. You can see we as well from June 2024 to essentially mid-July 2024, we were using it as support. Again, same thing over here. Basically, from when we took it, November, this was the November pop-up when Donald Trump won the election because everybody thought, you know, our RFK is going to do a lot of stuff with psilocybin and some of these alt medications. So we got that pop-up. We sold off. We found that base again, 6.5, 6.25. Most of the closing prints are above 6.5. And then we're stuck back in that range again. This was the move up when he was confirmed by the Senate to be the Secretary of Department of Home and, what's it called? Health and Human Services. Yes. So up into 1060 we go, and then down again, we test 6. So this one, stuck in a bit of a range. I'll submit to you that the trade here was news related. It was kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news. It has no, you know, quality earnings, a quality company that we can say, oh, what a fantastic quarter, let's buy this up, blah, blah, blah. So that's going to come down the road if it comes down the road, because it's going to have to get legislative approval. It's going to have to get regulatory approval, all the nuances required for a new product, and one that's still technically illegal, right? And I don't know if it's whatever Schedule 1, 2, whatever you guys do down there south of the border. Here we have it in different things called the CDSA, Controlled Drugs and Substance Act, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, it is a buy the rumor, sell the news trade, or so it seems to me, until I think it gets some quality fundamentals under its belt, and it still doesn't have that. Joseph, what did you see from the open interest? If you're not busy, bro.
Yeah, no. Tell me, what's the ticker again? I'll be gladly doing
MNMD. MNMD.
Why do you got to do that, man? Okay, well, so open interest coming this expiry cycle. We got a lot at 10 here, Sharif, to be honest with you. What did they refer to in the chat there? Did they say a specific strike?
Yes, 5.
5? Oh,
5.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
He said there's a lot of open interest at 5.
Okay, there is, I mean, on the put side for this expiration cycle, about 1,000, but it's not the most liquid stock. Take that into consideration as well, too. Sharif, I'm seeing more open interest on the call side with a March 15th expiration, all right, guys, with 8,000 open contracts right now. All right, so,
okay.
Right, so are we going to call that a wall? Maybe. For this name, maybe. Again, it's not relative to all the other strikes. It does have the highest levels of open interest. What we can do is we can go a little farther dated out, and yeah, everything kind of pales in comparison at that point. But as for 5, there is some open interest there. Sharif, there is a little bit more just above, what's it trading at right now to be exact? $6.76. So we are closer to that $7 strike price than we are $6 technically, I guess. So with 1.3, so they're really, really close relatively there. But again, there is significantly more open interest at that $10 strike price, Sharif. So yeah, so we'll see how that is. Is that going to act as resistance? Possibly, right? Possibly, very much so. Because again, it's not the most liquid from a option standpoint, and you can't go too much further down in the chain from what I'm looking at here. So yeah, that is that there, guys. Here we go in some JD. We're finally got the break of that resistance zone there, guys. If we can take a look, held on to this one. Positioning wasn't the best, take that into consideration, but that volume really kicked in there, guys. And we're now tapping onto we're now knocking on the door of the volume weighted average price. So we're in here, held this. We just stuck to the game plan essentially, right? Like we were like, okay, if we break this zone here on the 5-minute, then we're gonna get out of the trade, and we held it relatively strong. So that's a positive signal as well too. So yeah, that's the game plan, Sharif. We're gonna hold here for 44.83-ish roughly. If we can tap into 45, then that'll be a good sign. But we are pulling back here aggressively, so I don't want to make anything a winning trade, a losing one. So what I'll do is I'll just punch out break even if we do come back into the middle of this zone here, and then we'll get out. But now up about 1.4% on the session. Now, guys, we just went over MNMD. It's a tongue twister one there.
I know.
If there's anything else that you guys want want to go over, just put it in the chat and we'll be sure to do so. But the Mag 7 pulling right back in, so it's like fade any pop in this market, it seems to be the case here, and then just hold on to some of these Chinese ADRs. FXI and JD were my number one on my list this morning, Sharif, so that's what we're going to stick to.
Kevin Matthews asking, basically kind of they're saying the same thing. He's a head and shoulders pattern on the Mag 7, he says. So I didn't want to look at the Mag 7 just in isolation. Raymond, please. So we're going to look here at the triple Qs. And I don't see a head and shoulders pattern, but I see a double top, almost, kind of. With one crest, two crest, neckline, break neckline, tank. Okay, it was preceded by an uptrend. Okay, of course, you're not looking at this. That's a downtrend. I'm talking about this move up here. So you uptrend, you test one top, you come back down to test 495, you move back up to 498, you tank, you don't make a higher high. And we know the double tops, they don't have to have the same price level for the area crest, and then you break the neckline through 495, and now we're down, I believe, into 493.21 was the last time I looked there. So a bit of a tougher look, no question about it, on the triple Qs. And as you mentioned, the Mag 7 giving, well, not everything, but giving stuff back. Let's talk about that. So Microsoft's down 0.85. Meta continues to bleed. Wow, Meta, bro. 2 1/3 today. Meta's getting shellacked. Apple's back to being red, down 0.17. Goggles is the only Mag 7 name still green, and barely. I'm talking about Google, 0.11%. Amazon's getting shellacked, more than 2.5%. Tesla, true to form, a shellacking every day, it feels like. 4 1/3 on Tesla, and NVIDIA, the monster, down 3.5%. So yes, Kevin, you are right. It does feel like the winds of change are coming down on these markets, and specifically on the Mag 7 in general. So the triple Qs coming down into the lows there. I don't think it will be much different for the SPY. No, it is not. Very similar looking pattern, double top with the neckline break at around 577 3/4, and then down we go. So I don't see the head and shoulders pattern. I get what you mean, because there are 3 area crests, 1, 2, 3, but there's a pattern called the triple top as well, much less known and much less. It happens much less. It manifests much less than the double top. Did I say much less of it?
Yeah, I do it all the time, man.
No, but seriously. So I see what you're saying. If I had to, weapon in my head there, I say double top, but this looks like a triple top to me. Not a head and shoulders pattern, but I don't think we're really speaking a different language here. I think what you're getting at is the same thing. We're moving down in these here markets. Now, we got all the stuff over here. We got all the networks. So if Donald Trump is going to talk, we're going to know about it. Hopefully,
know about it.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the look right now, Joseph. What do you got?
Yeah, same thing here, guys. It's looking like we might get stopped out, break even on JD. I'm still looking at that IBIT potential position as well, too, here, guys. But if we crack that hammer candle low, then you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get out of Dodge and then look for another trade here, guys. So coming into my break even on JD and looking for a potential setup here in IBIT. But with the market bleeding and IBIT following the NASDAQ, it's not looking too pretty here, guys, as we continue and just give up all of this morning's gains. So the volatility is in, Sharif. The price fluctuation, fading the pop seems to be the narrative, my guy. So, I mean, yeah, not the prettiest of looks right now, especially with the Mag 7. We had them pop yesterday. We've seen what happened to the market. They're fading now, and we see what's happening to the market. So, again, we just got to pack our patience, as my buddy likes to say, and just hold our horses to see what's going to come up next. Can that elastic effect come into the volume-weighted average price here on these big names and on the indices? Maybe, possibly, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. As of right now, it's looking like that we broke through it, and then it's going to be a little bit of a struggle to sit back on top of that. So we're going to be patient, wait for these trades to play out. We got that breakout there on JD, wishing that I added a little bit to that position, but that's okay. There will always be another opportunity to arise, and here we go, starting to really creep in on that break even here. So any pop, we need this tape to be relatively stronger here, but you can see that we keep getting those flushes below the bid, and here we go, just at the ask. We're popping above the ask here now too. So keep that in mind, guys. We got to keep an eye on the tape at key levels. I mentioned that. You don't want to be paying too much attention all the time, because it's like falling into the matrix, right? It's just maybe a little bit misleading. You're being too intensive, paying too much attention to it, and every single pop, you just want to look at it at key levels and breakouts and breakdowns, all right? So, man, I don't know.
I just ignore her now.
Was that you there?
No.
Yeah, but was that? I didn't know that was the Matrix sound there. So I don't know, I'll go one of these there. My new favorite. That's okay. Yeah,
it's better. I think that's a lot better for us.
Yeah. Hey, man. You know. So, but yeah, guys, here we go. JD coming into the break even. Can we hold into this zone here? It's not going to look like it. And that's okay. We'll be able to just hop back into the trade again. So we got about another penny until we get stopped out break even. And yeah, I'm just going to wait for the scanner. It's unfortunate. So yeah, there we go on IBIT, guys. So that thesis is invalid. We broke through this hammer candle that I was looking to hold, and it just didn't. So now there's going to be probably some more potential downside. I think the next level to pay attention to, yeah, so I'm out on JD here now, folks. Oops. JD. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to hop out of JD here now, guys, because it has now come to my break even. So we're out of that one. Got a nice little pop on the trade, and then now we just got out of it right there. But again, looking like the Qs are going to head lower and lower and come and test the low a day here, and that's not going to be a pretty sign, especially we had a strong opening drive. In the pre-market, you can see that we held below the volume-weighted average price for the whole run, a nice gap down here, and then just continued to bleed. Nice pop up here, but then we just couldn't reach the post-market resistance here, or support now, and then now we're gonna come in and test this low a day. If we hold this low a day, I'm gonna look for a potential bounce trade.
All right, sorry to clutch. Thank you again for the 250 super chat. I thought we had covered it, my mistake. LXRX. Lexicon Pharmaceuticals. Here's the chart on it. Here's what they do. It's number one, it's $132 million market cap. It's traded about 6.25 million shares on the day with a float of 357 million shares. Let's just find out what the short float is so we can kind of know if there's going to be, shorts waiting to push us down. Yeah, about 24.5%. Of the 150, Trade Idea says 180 million shares is being bored for short. So about a quarter of the float is being bored for short. Now, what does this company do? Lexicon Pharmaceuticals is a biopharmaceutical company. It's focused on the discovery, development, and commercialization of pharmaceutical products for the treatment of human diseases. They got a pipeline there with a bunch of different drugs. It's an orally delivered drug, small molecule. What does it do? Treatment of heart failure and type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and other cardiovascular risk factors. That's just one of their drugs. They have others. Not vouching, obviously, for their validity or anything good about them, but the daily chart looks very bad. Okay, I hate to start off with such a negative note. This is the weekly chart. It's down and to the right. It doesn't seem to catch a bid. Now, I don't typically deal with these pharma names because it requires very specialized knowledge to understand what the hell is going on there. It's beyond my pay grade, beyond my scope of comprehension, so I can look at the technicals for you. The technicals are not good. I hate to report that. It's lower highs all the way through. It is lower lows. If you're looking at the area troughs and the area crests, each successive trough and crest lower than its predecessor. I think we are at definitely multi-year lows, having printed 27 pennies, I believe, on the 3rd of March, which is the beginning of the week. That's Monday. Since that, I don't know if this was earnings day or something like that. But when did this report earnings? Let me just check Trade Ideas. They report March 6th. They report today. I think that's actually what you said. So it looks like you're in for 48,000 shares of this name. And obviously, I wish you the absolute best. But if you're asking my opinion about the technicals are not good. But earnings reports have a different way of moving the stock. It's not going to be about technicals so much now as it is going to be about the fundamentals. What does a company report in terms of revenue and EPS? What was their net profit? What's their forward guidance? What's their full year guidance? Not just a quarter guidance. What's the product pipeline? I'm assuming, obviously, because it's a biopharma company. That product pipeline, what stage of development is it at? Is it, clinical stage 1, 2, 3? So many different questions. I have no idea but the technicals, I hate to report this to you, my friend, do not look good. Multi-year lows, but I hope, obviously, you print up multiple storms and let me know about it if you do, okay? The chart, though, eek. Shout out to Bears versus Bulls. He just messaged me this. So there's a trader of ours, Profit in Black. Love that name, by the way. Who's watching, this was a few days ago because that's my blue shirt right there. That's a different blue shirt than the one I'm wearing. I was watching you and I during the midday there. There were my black charts. All right, baby. We got that. Shout out to Profit in Black. Goes on to say in the caption, how it feels to trade in premium economy on your way to Bangkok to spend your profits. Thanks to Trader TV Live, Trader TV Joseph, Trader TV Sean, Trader TV Neil, the Master Sharif. How come you didn't tag me, bro? I'm the Consigliere 25.
Consigliere, man.
It's from back in the day, right? Yeah. So thank you so much for tagging us, and thanks for the world's greatest mod, Bears versus Dang Bulls, for tagging that. I'm going to save that. I want to show that to the Katina man, the Neil, when they're back as well. I'm sure they'll get a kick out of that. And my man,
it's Dear Ollie.
Hey?
It was Dear Ollie.
That's Dear Ollie?
Yeah.
Hey,
Dear Ollie,
bro.
Let's go.
But I love his name on Twitter there, our next. Yeah. Profit in Black. That's
Profit in Black, man.
So shout out to you, my man. I hope you have a fantastic time in Bangkok if you're still there. This was posted March 6th. So yeah, you're on the way there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, he's there. He must be. He must be there.
Right
yeah, I think he's from Switzerland or something.
Switzerland. Okay, I like that.
Somewhere along those lines. I think he told me. So yeah, nice work there, Dear Ollie. Cool stuff there, man. I always wanted to go to Thailand, so yeah, maybe I'll come there.
That's going to be hopefully my next big one, an Asia tour. I've never been to Asia.
Yeah, same. I've never crossed the pond, man. So
yeah, bro.
Yeah, I never crossed the pond. Looking forward to doing that one day, for sure. Yeah, but guys, here we go. JD, we got out of this trade. We're heading into some support zones right now. If we break through, then look for this downside trend to continue. It's not looking good here for the market, guys. Some bleeding going on. I'm back in Geneva and broke again. Okay, so he spent all his money in Thailand, and now he's back here paying attention to what's going on in the market. So, attaboy, our guy, Dear Ollie. So hopefully we get a bounce signal here in the market, guys. That's what I'm looking for. So I need a definitive signal. Gaurav and I were talking about it in the chat. I don't see any indecision print as of right now, even though this might be somewhat of an engulfing candle, even though if you have to force the setup, then it may not necessarily be it. Take that into consideration, guys. So that's what I'm looking for. I don't see any hammers or anything along those lines in the market. So I don't know if we're going to get that much of a bounce just yet. That's what I'm going to be keeping my eyes on here, guys. IBIT still bleeding. Once it broke that hammer candle to the downside, it just continued. So you know what I'm doing here, Shreve? I'm going to start building a playbook on some of these signals, because one, you can play when they're confirmed and when they come into play there, right, into consideration. But then when they break it to the downside, I usually tend to find that there's a lot more potential momentum going to the opposite direction, right? So that's what I'm going to look to do here. This was the hammer candle that I was looking to play. Once it broke through, you can see that there was other levels too as well to keep into consideration. So you can see that we have all these support levels in this range here from the post market yesterday. And then now once it broke there, it just continued to the south side, and then now continuing to bleed here for the more Sharif, breaking through the low of day with momentum. So I thought we were going to get a nice rally here in Bitcoin, and people and traders were going to buy it up leading into the news tomorrow. But it doesn't seem to be the case so far, my guy.
No, sir. All right, just loading up Grr over here, because Neil was nice enough to get me shorts on that bad boy. I was trying to short it earlier, but I guess it didn't go through. Anyway, keeping an eye on Grr. It's back into that 50 exponential on the 1, but that's not my move there. It's now back at the 10 exponential on the 5. That is more along my move. We're going to keep an eye on that, but for the moment, we're going to go up to Adair.
Wow, market.
The better question might be, what isn't happening now? Because it's been a really busy day for these markets. We actually, after yesterday having the auto tariffs be under exemption there until April 2nd, now apparently every good in Mexico that falls under the USMCA, which is estimated to be roughly 50% of the goods, will also be exempt from tariffs until April 2nd, 2025. As of right now, that has been a very hard deadline. So all tariffs in effect just under a month from now. But we have no comment here as to what's going to happen between Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, and Donald Trump. We know they're still in talks. It's been a little bit tense. We'll have to wait and see there. Speaking of Donald Trump, We have him signing executive orders at 2 p.m., so stay tuned for that. I will let you guys know if I see anything coming down the wire there. And Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent currently speaking. I've seen zero headlines from that as of right now. Let's take a look at some of these stocks on watch. Rigetti making quite the little reversal here to the downside. RGTI is an earnings day one play. Also, funny you mentioned GRRR, Sharif, because I actually had Gorilla up here as well on watch. Got a little bit of a short report online, and then that was echoed by Citron Research and Andrew Leff, known short sellers. So GRRR on watch. Best of luck to you with that stock there, Sharif, and best of luck to everybody trading today. I will keep you guys posted at 2 p.m. when Donald Trump is set to sign these executive orders. And of course, if there's any news, I will let you guys know. But back to you guys.
Thank you very much for that, Adara. Adara, you brought good luck to my short. Bang! We take 50 pennies, quick as you like on that bet. Joseph, we got long a position here that we didn't even know we were going to take, Joseph. ALXO. I'm at VWAP. Okay, so this one is actually sound. Okay, fine. It's not a bad entry here. Volume weighted average price, ALXO. I'll give it a couple of shekels, but it's GRR right now that we took some profits on. Short 33s, 32.98 technically. Took it all the way down to 50 pennies. Now I'm waiting at third of a dollar. I'm thinking, I'll give this one a little bit of room. I just don't want it going against me too much. I've taken out 3/5 of the position. So we still have a little bit left on this bad boy. Let's see if it can get another move down. It's got 4 candles now, though. Green, each one higher high, higher low on the 5-minute. They are anemic, to be fair. Let me show you exactly what I mean by that. In the sense that, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. This is what I mean. So you get a 4-candle green setup. Each successive candle has a higher low. This one kind of bamboozles everybody because it kind of topping tails through the 10 exponential. This is the 5-minute chart on GRR. And this is what I mean by anemic. Number one, the body of the candle is very small, so you can kind of tell that the shorts and the longs are kind of caught in a bit of a war here. Let's see who wins because you're not able to get any decided move to the high side. So right back into that $0.50 we go on this monster. I'm waiting at the third of a dollar. We'll see if we get printed on this. It's showing me 40s right now on the bid. If it drops a bit more, give me more, baby. Yeah, I'm crazy. I don't care. We're going to wait over here. We're going to wait now at 10s. Let's see if we can front run the whole dollar there. On GRRR, it's down big boy on the day, and I don't usually short these small cap gappers, but this one looked awfully good, and I think it's a bit of a special situation over here. So we'll attempt to do something a little bit different today. So GRRR, we're looking at this one, ladies and gents. I'm also interested in a couple of names here that I haven't mentioned for a while. Adara just brought us Rigetti, and Rigetti is coming down well off the high there at 912. But this is what I like about Rigetti. Knees are heavy at that 843 area. That's the volume weighted average price. I want to see if it finds a bid in and around there, and it's awfully close to the $0.50. VWAP and the $0.50 about 2 or 3 pennies away from each other. ALXO, I already told you guys about why I'm into that. That's a VWAP retracement. But so is Teladoc. Teladoc right now, TDoc, one that I was watching. I don't know why. It was up on the day. It looked good. Decent price. It's also dropped into the volume weighted average price, which is also an interesting area of overlap with price action resistance. This is the candle I'm talking about here in the pre-market. We topped out at around 950, and then all the way we come back down from that 990. Alas, we're holding 955s, the volume weighted average price. Let's see if this one is able to dip down a bit further. But for the moment, just a couple of positions on right now with GRRR and ALXO.
ALXO. Yeah, here we go, guys. We're in some TQs here. Looking for this bottoming signal to come to fruition and then possibly get that hammer candle that we need on the 5-minute. I see it coming, slowly starting to print on the SPY, but I'm going on this 1-minute candle in the TQs. So if you guys can take a look at this here, you can see that we have this isolated signature. We were also trading lower and lower for about a half an hour without any decent pullback. If we break this local low here, then I'm just going to get out of the trade, and there might be some more potential downside. So that's the thesis. Continuing to hold at some of these levels, which is important. We need some of these big names to bounce. What I'm looking at right now, Apple's bouncing, but let's see what Adara's up to.
Just keep an eye on Meta here. CNBC reporting that the company is targeting, quote, hundreds of millions of businesses with its agentic AI development. I have no further details on the story as of yet, but Meta actually making a bit of a bottoming tail candle. So META attempting to bounce here as CNBC says the company is targeting, quote, hundreds of millions of businesses in agentic AI development. We know Amazon teased an agentic AI team being developed yesterday as well. So this is certainly going to be something on watch here for some of these Mag 7s in the future going forward. Back to you.
I want to comment about this because this is really interesting. I think that, some of the biggest AI plays, we already saw the generative AI model with LLMs kind of be the story of 23 and 24. I think robotics is a little early. I think we're super nascent and super early.
I agree with you.
But this agents, agentic AI, where the agents kind of do things on your behalf. We already saw OpenAI come out with Operator. It, like Joseph, it moves the mouse on your screen, it clicks text fields, it enters your name. If you give it, payment information, it does it for you. So I think agentic AI is going to be sick play this year. Who's involved in that right now? We know that, Salesforce, Benioff and company really want to do that more from a B2B, a business-to-business perspective. But we know Operator and now Amazon also want to have a B2C, a business-to-customer use for agentic AI. I think it's a great play for 25.
Yeah, I think so too. And it's funny, I was thinking about Apple last night, Sharif, and Apple Intelligence. How cool would it be if you could be like, hey, Siri, pay this bill for me? Right?
Dude, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, hey, Siri, do this or pay this bill. And that's it. So just to add into that point, I was thinking, I think that's what they need in order for this thing to really catch a grasp. So that's what I'm looking for Siri to have the ability to do. It's like, hey, Siri, pay this bill for me, do this for me, whatever. Even though I'm pretty sure it can just be like send a text. But again, just like authorization, like, hey, I authorize you to pay this, a phone bill, my internet bill, whatever it may be. And I think that'll take it to the next level. So that's the game plan. Hopefully they start coming out with some groundbreaking stuff. I know Dan Ives is like, okay, wait for the super cycle in the 17. I mean, it's like, okay, but what about the 16? Like it hasn't been out that long, I'm pretty sure. So again, yeah, just something groundbreaking. Sharif talking about how they're coming out with a possible foldable phone next year or something along those lines. So we'll just be patient and wait for those things to come out because there's nothing been like, hey, I need to go out and grab this new iPhone. I need to have Apple Intelligence, and we need that kind of something to grasp the consumer, I believe, in my opinion. So let's see what 2NYS or even Alexa, I said this the other day, can you sell stock or trade the stock or buy, order my groceries, etc. Exactly, and I think that's a good point. It's like, hey, Siri, go on Uber Eats and order me this, or blah, 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 whatever it may be. And I think that might be one of the next steps, or maybe in our lifetime even. So let's continue to hold on and monitor this trade here, guys. It's not looking too good here. We're not getting the pops that we want. NVDA being the bearer of bad news once again, unfortunately here, guys. Just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. And where I've seen it open up on the cam structure, I'm like, it's not going to be a good day. So it's not going to be a good day, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. If these big names are going to continue to sell, they're going to drag the overall market down with it, Tree.
Trump suspending most new tariffs on Mexico, reporting Fox News. Okay, I don't know if we already the same story. Thank you, Adara. Yeah, just making sure. So interesting look there. Yeah, man, he just throws it there, sees what sticks, he negotiates, sees how you respond back. I'm telling you, bro, it's so obvious, the move now. But the thing is, you think you may understand him, and then he throws a curveball to make you think that you don't understand anything. And if you think that he's not going to get the actual tariffs to stick, and then all of a sudden he makes them stick and you completely like blindsided because he's pulled them back 2 or 3 times, I think his greatest strength is his unpredictability. Yeah. You don't know what the hell he's going to do at any point in time.
I agree with you.
Having said that, let's see what Adair has to say.
So from what I can see here, this headline is just Donald Trump saying that there's no tariffs on Mexico for goods that fall under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Trade Act. To my understanding, that's the exact same headline we already had. So I just wanted to recap. This is a different way of wording the same headline. As mentioned earlier, according to estimates from Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, he said that it's roughly 50%, he believes, off the top of his head, roughly 50% of goods that come from Mexico and Canada are covered under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Act. So just keep an eye on that. Also keep an eye on banks here. We have comments, as mentioned earlier, from U.S. Treasury Secretary Besant, saying, quote, banks have been weighed down by unduly burdensome regulatory requirements and a broken supervisory culture. So we were hoping for bank deregulation, or I guess less regulation from this new administration. These comments from Secretary Besant suggest that could be the case. Keep an eye on any of big banks right now, guys. Back to you.
All right, I've been talking to Romza in the chat. And he's like, look, brother, you know, this agentic AI that you guys have been talking about, yeah, it's great and all, but it's already been available with a company called UiPath. And we've traded UiPath before. We all know about that. I didn't know that they had that though, brother. I thought agentic AI was kind of newer to the AI game. And what I was asking the chat, I wasn't trying to troll you at all. What I was trying to ask genuinely was, how robust was it? Like, if you're comparing it, like, just say to Operator by OpenAI, is it as robust, or was it kind of like a bare bones version of that kind of, it does things on your behalf? I'd really like to know more. I really wasn't trying to troll you at all, in full disclosure. Guys, we're quite close here on a fill, on GUR here for a buck winner. I've been waiting. Where am I waiting at? I'm waiting at 15s. It's showing me 20s. We're not getting the fill. So GUR on the way down rejects 33, and that's exactly where I got short. But we're now showing 15s here on the bid, but can't get that until it crosses. So we may or may not get the fill there. We're going to pack our patience and see what comes. But I was apologizing to Bovin. I was apologizing to Pathek because I messed up. You guys told me about this one, and you know I lost. My attention span is that of a gnat, so I forgot about this one. But this is a good looking chart right now. PSTV, sub $1 name, but it's breaking out big boy like a $1 stock. Yeah, I know, right? All right, here's the deal, guys. I'm not punching it at highs, and the 90 pennies, high a day right now. Good look. So these are different trades, north and south of $1. We've mentioned that many times. It looks like it might be bull flagging here with a big move up through that previous high day at around 67 pennies. Now we've got 90 pennies. Here are the levels. So my first level, I'm looking at 71 to 70 for that 10 exponential move. But I know that I may not get it. So we could get that sideways consolidation, which is the bull flag, right? That's what we always talk about. So I'm waiting on this one. If it starts putting in higher lows, showing me that it's not likely to retrace into the 10 exponential, I'll punch in for a possible 10 penny move up or wherever I get into that dollar. I'll be looking to de-risk in front of that dollar, knowing that the dollar likely will be a bit of a resistance level. So that's the look there. So PSTV is up a big boy on the day. It's up 131%. The only thing really that I don't like about this, obviously, is the fact that it's trading south of $1, but that's all right. We can make do with that. So this one is on watch. I'm not punching in here. I need to see a bit more. Now, if it does come into that 70 penny area-ish, I will pick it up there because of the 10 exponential moving average. If it moves sideways and shows me that it's bull flagging with the higher lows, just like it's doing right now, look at this. So area bottom, showing me higher lows, which is kind of what I want to see. Buyers are picking it up at higher and higher levels incrementally. So PSTV, no question, it now has earned its way onto the side chart. Bang, Joseph! We take out that dollar on GUR, down 22%. Thank you, Neil, for getting me those shorts. I do appreciate that, brother. And we still have them. That's a beautiful thing. So you can use them once, twice, and even OB thrice. As many times as you want. That's kind of how it works around here. Once you get shorts, you got them for a day, and then you can recycle them over and over and over again. And it's all in my head. Remember that one? No? What?
Well, I wasn't really listening, man.
Adara got mad about that.
Yeah, I got a lot going on here, man, over here. So I got Ram in my ear asking me to do some things. You're singing, so it's
all right, guys. We're having a good time up in this. You know what? So I'm still long. This monster right here, we're looking still at ALXO for a print at 138, not forthcoming, still holding this. Sorry, Ram, what?
Ad read.
Yeah.
Ad read. All right, guys, we ready for this? Time to pay some bills. Unlocking nuclear renaissance with foremost clean energy, leveraging one of the biggest mega trends on the planet, nuclear energy, partnered with Denison Mines with properties strategically located in the Athabasca Basin. known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. The undervalued company is poised to capitalize on the exploding nuclear market and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear. Foremost is your entry on the NASDAQ under FMST and on the CSE under FAT, or go to foremostcleanenergy.com for details, guys.
Did they say nuclear is exploding?
Ooh, they did. It is exploding.
How ominous.
Nuclear.
Nuclear. Exploding.
Nuclear exploding.
That's my opinion. What's going on over there, Katina, man? Same old word I won't use.
Same old, man. Just doing it. Just being.
The OG Darwin knows what I'm talking about. What's going on over there, Katina, man? Get in. Let's go, baby. Tap
in, my guy.
We're tapping in.
Tap in.
All right, so just real quick, screen, if you can. No, not this screen, my train screen. All right, so there's Intel. We went swimming. We come back. We're now positive on Intel, so in your face, Intel. The second thing here is we wrote down 101. I'm the most upset because we didn't stick to our plan. So look at this TQQ, what we wrote down here. Just for an example, I'm going to call this up just real quick. Short 70, stop out 70.50. The high of the day, and we stopped out before 70.50, was $70.48. For me to come back now and see this thing $3 down is what it is. But at least we stuck to our guns here with Intel. So short AMD 101, right? You could see that's obviously printed there. That 101 was the exact top. Now it's all the way back in. That's $2. There's your Intel short rate there. And again, I'm upset because we didn't follow our rules early. So it's like, here's us going short. We're nowhere near 21. Once we finally go get 21, we actually go long, which was okay. Then we flipped into the short again, and then boom goes the dynamite down to the downside. Boom. So a little bit upset that we didn't follow our plan exactly there on the TQs, but glad to come back, see these winners on Intel and AMD. But at the end of the day, a little bit upset that we didn't trade the futures properly. It's 300 handles from that spot. So anyways, back over to the real traders.
Don't be upset, Katina, man. Everything is good there. Adara, what's up?
Sharif, you know what's up at least a little bit is this market. This is a 3-minute candle in the NASDAQ, taking out a lot of recent candles of downside action. What was the story? Well, we did have comments here from Claudia Sheinbaum, president of Mexico, saying that practically all of the trade that they have with the U.S. is under the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. Now, why is that relevant? Because, as we know here, Donald Trump and his administration announced that until April 2nd, 2025, Mexico will be exempt from tariffs for items that fall under that agreement. So now Claudia Sheinbaum is saying that almost everything that they have falls under that agreement. Therefore, almost all of the goods here with Mexico right now are going to be exempt from tariffs until April 2nd, 2025. Now, of course, that's not a hard number, but it does give us the suggestion, as we kind of got earlier, that a good amount of Mexico is now going to be exempt from tariffs until April 2nd, 2025. Still no word with regards to how Canada fits into this. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. Always bringing us the news, keeping us apprised. Really appreciate that. Daryl Finch, got my $2 on Tesla. So far, so good. Win on the reload at 263. Let's go. We're going to print. We're going to hit the bang for you, my man. We're going to drop the cash and hope you print up multiple storms. Tesla is taking quite the shellacking today. It has been a tough look for the Cybertruck lately. I don't mean to laugh. I'm still invested in this one. But, yeah, you just kind of have to take it as it is. And that's the way it is. You don't like it, don't trade, don't invest. So here's a look. This is what Daryl Finch was talking about earlier. He messaged me earlier and he's like, look, how do you feel about that 262 and change? I said, well, Tesla, and when he messaged me, it was like right around this time. It was around maybe 5 to 12. It was right at 265, and we had already double bottomed there. So I was like, hey, man, there's already a nice support level here. What are you thinking about here? But I said to him, I'm like, look, there's a yesterday low very much near her, and this is what he was looking at. Shout out to Daryl. He did well on this. That's a 2-banger, my man. We're going to hit the once and twice. There it is, the Dollar Club winner for Daryl Finch. Good trade, and yeah, good execution. Keep us surprised, Daryl, about the next look there. Good trade on Tesla, Jose.
Hey, yeah, let's go here. We're getting that pop in the TQQ, guys. We're taking some off the top here as we climb higher and higher. Gaurav and I were talking about that NVDA print. This is what we were referring to right here, guys, on the 5-minute time frame. If this name decides that it wants to get moving, then we can start to recover here in the NASDAQ, and that's going to be the game plan. You can see how they're highly correlated here, guys. Trading almost in tandem on a 5-minute time frame here. You can see that just the turtle shell, nice strong opening drive here, and then the turtle shell curl over, and then now trading south of the volume weighted average price there, guys. So keep that in mind. We need NVDA to start trading significantly higher in order for this market to continue to climb. So if that's a bottoming signal, looking pretty good. We got to take a look at the volume by time profile as always, folks. So keep that in mind. But a nice hammer candle at the lows, now selling back down a little bit here, so not too pretty of a look. We're now at the break even here on my TQQ. We'll hold this a little bit longer, but if the selling pressure is sustained, then we're going to have to get out of this trade here, guys, because we don't want to turn winners into losers. So hopefully we get a little bit of a bounce. If this volume is on the lower side, which it's looking like it kind of is, but it also picking up, so kind of just contradicting what I'm saying. But again, not the best look here. Those sellers still fully engaged here, folks. Again, so got to keep that in mind. It may take some time in order for them to really phase out. Yeah, I got to get out of this here. Okay, so I'm all out of it now, guys. So we got a little bit of a pop. Let it come back against us a little bit more than what we would have liked, but that is okay. We will always find the next trade. Looking for that oversold bounce from an intraday perspective. It's not looking like we're going to get it right now. So just be a little bit more patient. I'm going to wait for that 5-minute candle on NVDA, Gaurav. I really like the print. If that volume was more standoutish, then it would be better. But as of right now, the market continuing to drag lower and lower and lower, with Apple heading towards this support low, NVDA at that support low as well too. So with these big names continuing to drag everything down, you just want to follow the trend. You don't want to fight it. So, excuse me, unless those signals are defined. I got a bad entry on NVDA under top 35, top of the range. Yeah, that's the tough part there, right? So you are at the top of the range there. So you have to give it about $1 or so there, Gaurav, it's looking like, right? Because you want to hold on to that until the break of the low of that candle. Otherwise, the thesis is still valid until otherwise. Maybe we might be able to find another entry here on the TQs as well too, guys. So if we slowly start to curl over, that's going to be a positive sign, and I'm liking the looks of that if we hold this base, and I believe that we might here. But we need Apple to rebound, and as well as NVIDIA. Let's take a look at Meta, because I know Sharif is saying it's selling. Yeah, and with Meta continuing to bleed here, guys, not a good look whatsoever. We'll take a look at Softy as well, too, as the boys like to call it. So putting in somewhat of a base here. Again, so yeah, you need these big names to hold up. That's what's going to continue to drag the market down. So we're gonna be a little bit more patient, hold our horses, and wait for these bottom signals to see if they come into play here, Sharif.
Oh, great call up by Manuel Palma, the OG. He's a chat OG for sure. AEON. Just trying to load it, but my hands are slow because I'm old. Fantastic look over here, man. Great call out by you. It's a south of $1 still. AEON is the ticker. Let's have a look at this one. So we're definitely not at the highs right now. We kind of, quadruple topped at this 81 penny area. Let me just load this up. Who am I going to take off over
Meta
here? We're going to take off Astis because it's no longer to my liking. Yeah, let's take off that bad boy there. Yeah, AEON, because it just doesn't update. I don't know why. There we go. All right, so we topping tailed again right there at 79 pennies, and down we go again. I don't want to use VWAP here. I don't know how you feel about this, Manuel, but VWAP kind of looks like the line of best fit rather than an area support or resistance level. So what would be the point of me using it here as support? It does, though, overlap. So I'm thinking out loud here as we speak. It does overlap with that 70 penny area. And that interests me, right? Because we know the 10 penny area in the case of stocks below $1 can be areas of support and resistance, in the way that 60 is obviously an area of support over here. How many times did we come into 60 and we bounce? So the fact that VWAP and 70 pennies are basically overlapping makes me more inclined to want to use VWAP here because it hadn't been respected before. At least that's kind of how I see it. Okay, so AEON has earned its way onto the side chart. I ideally would like this, though, above that 81 penny area. And the reason is I feel, based on how the chart action or the price action took place on the chart over here, that there was an aggressive seller that just wouldn't allow the buyers to pass that 81 penny area, and likely 80 pennies was the area being defended. And look at the amount of volume that took place there. Like, I'll give you an example. This candle here, 2.9 million shares. This candle, 3.5. So this candle, 2.6. 2 point worth of that level, so we could take out those shorts. Here's what I'm doing. I'm putting my alert above the previous candle high. If we get above there, I'll be made aware of it, and then we'll look to take that trade possibly. Still involved in PSTV here. I'm looking at defending this into 70 pennies because there is an area support level at 70 pennies in addition to that being the volume weighted average price. So let's see if this bad boy wants to jump off this area. Let's go ahead and add into this area right here. I won't allow it to really go much against me though. Joseph, what do you got on that place over there, bro?
Yeah, I'm just holding on to some things. I'm waiting for the market to kind of put in this base here, Sharif, to see if we can get any form of pop in some of these names. Meta just bleeding, dragging everything down with it. So if we get this indecision candle that's looking like it might print right now, then we might be privileged enough to get somewhat of a bounce in this market. So we're going to look to participate on that front. We're starting to get a lot of buying pressure in some of these candles here. So you can see the tails starting to be printed right here, guys. So that's a positive sign that we might be slowly turning around. So we'll just continue to monitor that. And when the opportunity arises, we'll take advantage of that. But let's see what Adair's up to.
Just want to let you guys know, in case you missed it, we do have comments coming through right now, both from Claudia Scheinbaum, who is the president of Mexico, and also from Scott Bessent, who is the U.S. Treasury Secretary right now. Actually, some pretty interesting comments on tariffs coming from specifically Scott Bessent right now, saying earlier in his speech about 20 minutes ago that, quote, access to cheap goods is not the essence of the American dream. Now, a couple seconds ago, saying that tariffs can be a one-time price adjustment. So really advocating for these tariffs. There's also some comments here about the Fed from Bessent saying, I hope the Fed team is transitory regroups on tariffs. So apparently he's hoping that the Fed will have these discussions about tariffs. We actually will get comments from Fed Chair Powell tomorrow at 12:30 p.m., so maybe we'll get some tariff talk then. But we do have some comments here saying that the Fed teams should be regrouping on tariffs, according to Scott Bessent, U.S. Treasury Secretary. And a reminder as well, in just an hour and a half now, Donald Trump will be signing some executive orders, 2 p.m. Eastern. These don't always move the market, but we know he can be asked questions during Q&As, and some of the things said there can be moving, guys. Back to you.
For that, Dara's. Yeah, so guys, let's go over some of the top volume standpoint performing stocks on the day. So we'll pull that up here and see what we got cooking up. We'll run the skin. Okay, so yeah, guys, whoever puts it in the chat first, hey, then you get a congrats from me. Who has the most volume traded on this session? And I'm talking about large caps here as well too. All right, so anything above $20 to about $1,000. If anybody puts that in the chat first, then you're gonna get a big thumbs up from your boy. So let's see what everybody's saying. I'm gonna go into second place here, and that's Sox L. All right, about 85.3 million. NVDA, Verne, the winner, gets the siren. Nice, Verne. Good one. On the ball with that one. The first one is the right one, so nice work there. Having a little bit of fun with 151 million shares traded thus far here. Gorev getting the pop that he needs here, my guy. So nice look there. Soxel sitting in second place with 85.4 million shares traded. So it's all these leverage derivatives, TQs in the third slot there, guys. So in the show slot with 68.2, and then PLTR with 62.8 million shares traded on the session. So good there, Vernier. Nice big W there. So you get a hero cookie from your boy. So yeah, I'm just gonna be a little bit patient here, Sharif. It's looking like NVDA and some of the Mag 7 want to bounce here. It does seem that there is some selling pressure as well too. So I'm gonna be a little patient to enter this TQs trade. I do want to try to catch around the base and a better price than what I was in at before. So yeah, that's the thesis and that's the game plan.
Sounds good, man. We're involved in a couple of sub $1 names here. I'm talking about PSTV and AEON. What you're seeing on your screen there is AEON. This trades on the Amex networks, the Amex network, whatever, however it's said. Where were we long here? We're long 75s. Here we go. I'm waiting at 78s for a print, then 80 on this bad boy. Let's see if it wants to hold up. It triggered my alert because it popped into that new high a day, but it is a topping tail candle right now for that new high a day, and that goes by 82 pennies. I'm going to stop out below 70, okay? So it's going to have to hold this area, otherwise we will get stopped out in this bad boy. The other one I'm looking at, way more share size on this one over here, PSTV. Let's see if it holds at the 10 exponential right now. It's at the 10 exponential. It's kind of doing a bottoming tail or a hammer candle. Let's see. I'm waiting at 76 pennies. It's showing me 75s. Let's see if we can get the print. Adara is at the big desk.
To the downside, I just saw a headline here. Apparently, it had its landing touchdown. I'm seeing LOS. I'm seeing a couple different meanings for that. But beware here. LUNR halted to the downside, dropping here on this news. I need to find out more details, but be aware, LUNR, Intuitive Machines, has moved to the past. We also have on watch here, though, the market in general, specifically, loss of signal. Thank you for letting me know there, Neil. I looked into that, wasn't able to find anything. So apparently loss of signal here for LUNR for their landing, dropped to the downside too. Also just be aware of these tech names, specifically Mag 7 and Big Tech. Scott Best, Interior U.S. Treasury Secretary, saying that the U.S. will be looking at the EU's massive fines on U.S. tech firms. We know some of these Mag 7 names have been hit with that in the past. So keep an eye on LUNR and Big Tech. Back to you.
Yeah, man.
Hey now. Good stuff there, guys. We're back in some TQs. We got the base. 66.40 is going to be our out, just below that range. If we get this somewhat of a bounce in the market, I think we'll be sitting all right here, Sharif. We're just going to wait for it. Trading below the volume weighted average price is the majority of these names here, so the advancing declining ratio not looking too good as of right now.
All right, man. Still waiting here on some sort of print on PSTV. None is forthcoming. There we go. Now we get the print. Okay, let's see if we can squeeze up. So it was a 10 exponential hold, and it held well. That doesn't mean we're out of the water by any stretch of the imagination. Next level over here. I'm waiting at 78s. Now let's see where we at. We're almost at 77s. Again, when it's a sub $1 name, you are having to take out that 4 decimal places. So you get so many different levels at which you can post. You know, notionally, it ends up being the same thing, but I submit to you guys, it's a bit harder there because you're able to reinstitute your short position at different levels. You don't have to post it all at one level. And there's also the issue of the algos that don't trade these stocks sub $1. So it does print me there, but right back into my entry we go. It's going to have to hold 70 pennies, so a bit of what they call a specialist breakdown there, where it kind of pops up, takes out the level, and then we zig and zag down. Let's pack our patience. Let's see if we get printed to the downside over here. Getting stopped out, showing me 71 pennies now. We're at 74s. We took at the print there at 76s, and then down it went again. There is support, though, earlier at that 67 penny area. That is the local area high that we put into the pre-market. Other than that, we hadn't been above that level until about 12.05, give or take. So we'll see what that one wants to do. ALXO, we got the print there to the high side, but right back down into 135. That one is not continuing. And then AEON, sadly, we did get stopped out of that one, but for much, much smaller shares than what we got here on PSTV. So definitely keeping my eye on this one. This one's the one that I really want to focus on right now because I have way more shares on this one than AEON or ALXO. But yeah, kind of very stagnant right now in small cap gapper world. All are really consolidative or breaking back down. Not surprising, though, because the midday is a little bit tougher lately anyway for these small cap gappers. Let's see if they catch a bid, Joe.
Yeah, good stuff there, Sharif. Someone in the chat, multiple people in the chat actually asked me, hey, Joe, is the lesson done? No, we didn't quite finish it, so we will finish it right now. And I'm glad that you guys are engaged and really want to learn some of this stuff, all right? So this is what we went over before here, guys. Hold on, let me get this out of the way. This is what I did last time, and hopefully it works. Okay, bang. All right, so good look here, guys. So 3, how can, thanks. Yeah, I learned from the best. You know that, right? So There you go. How large call and put walls impact market sentiment. I think this is really important. So a large call wall slash bearish neutral bias, it can indicate strong resistance. Traders expect price not to break above this level. All right, so we just went over this example in NVDA, and you can see this is leading into the earnings report, guys, and we just had the inability to crack through there. A participant or participants would need to come in here and absorb all this liquidity, which is quite a bit here, guys, okay? So market makers hedge by shorting the underlying asset, reinforcing resistance. If price breaks above a major call wall, market makers must cover the shorts, leading to potential gamma squeeze, rapid price increase. Example, if SPY has a huge call wall at 500, traders expect price to struggle to go beyond it. If SPY starts breaking above 500, it could go force call sellers into hedge by buying SPY, causing a short squeeze even higher, okay? So be large put walls, bullish slash neutral bias indicate strong support. Traders expect price not to fall below this level. Market makers hedge by buying the underlying asset, reinforcing support. If price breaks below a major put wall, forced selling may trigger a downside acceleration. Example, if NVDA has a huge call wall at 140, traders expect the price to hold below this level. If NVDA trades higher than 140, market makers might have to buy stock to hedge, leading to further upward momentum. Now, final takeaways, all right, simplistic stuff. Enough just breaking everything down here. Call walls equals potential resistance due to short call hedging. Put walls, potential support due to short put hedging. And then high levels of open interest at specific strikes act as these key price magnets. Sometimes breakouts of call walls, gamma squeeze possible. Breakdown of put walls, accelerated downside risk. OI trends to help confirm sentiment shifts and trade opportunities. And everybody, let's rocket ship. And yeah, that's it. That is the final rocket ship. That is the lesson of the day, guys. If you have any questions, be sure to put them in the chat, and I will do the best I can to answer those. But let's see what A is up to at the desk.
Speaking of rocket ships, Joe, we actually do have Lunar still on watch here. Intuitive Machines, unfortunately, their moon lander, they've reached the surface, but engineers could not find a confirmation signal. So they experienced a loss of signal, though apparently their Athena moon lander did, in fact, really reach the surface. It is worth noting here, decent bounce, but this one did drop and halt to the downside on that news. They've got about a 21% short float, so that is something to be aware of as well. So MSFT is on watch here. Microsoft certainly down on the day, but we did get a report from Bloomberg that I think is of note, announcing that, or reporting that Microsoft does plan to invest an additional almost $300 million, $297 million in South Africa by the end of 2027 to expand its AI and cloud capacity in the country. So we have reports that Microsoft here is going to do some more international AI investment. Back to you.
Yes, sir. Well, no. I didn't mean to dare. I meant you. All right, guys. AEON back into this one. Where are we long here? We're along 70s. Just wet the beak there at 72s. Here we go with 74s. Let's see if we can get the cross on this bad boy. Good defend of VWAP. So it did double top at 82, but it is defending the volume weighted average price. So I did punch long there on the move down. Let's see if it can work its way back into 74 pennies. It's showing me 73 and a half. Was a little bit higher there at the highs, about 73 and 3/4. Also is still involved in this monster here, PSTV, finding support at 70s, but this one does look at it is stair stepping back down. I'd like for it to hold around maximum 66 to 67 pennies. That is the pre-market high. Ideally, it holds up there because, well, that is a previous area of resistance. So I'm looking for it to act as support over here. The volume weighted average price, though, on PSTV takes us all the way down to about 61 pennies. So we'll have to see which way the cookie crumbles on this monster. There does look to be some local selling, though, at 72 pennies, exactly where we're long. Here we go, 72. That got taken out. The bid aggressively to the high side here, 73s now almost. We're waiting at 74, so it's going to have to move up a lot more. Yeah, these ones that are sub $1 kind of take a while to generate a move up, or so it feels sometimes. Anyway, back to AEON. Still printed there at 72s, but that 73.8 or whatever it was onto the high side did not get us filled. So we'll have to continue to pack our patience, keeping my eye on this one. That's it, guys. We're only involved in these ones. PSTV, we're involved in AEON as well as ALXO, but ALXO a much smaller position than the other two. And ALXO has definitely a very interesting area of support and resistance over here. Like, look how many times it kept rejecting 34s, and then we clear here with some distance, come back in, then we're defending 34s. Adara, what's going on?
We have more tariff comments coming through here from Scott Bessent, who is the U.S. Treasury Secretary. And we mentioned earlier, so in case you missed it, Mexico is going to have tariff exemptions here for any goods that are compliant under the USMCA or the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Trade Act. It does sound like, from what we've heard from Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico and also from Howard Lutnick, U.S. Commerce Secretary, that most or at least 50% of Mexican goods will now be exempt from tariffs. So good luck for Mexico. However, Canada, as we mentioned earlier, was not mentioned. We've actually had it mentioned now. So Scott Bessent here, U.S. Treasury Secretary, basically saying they're open to negotiation, but saying some disparaging remarks here about Canada's negotiation as of right now. So it does not sound like Canada is going to be necessarily getting these tariff exemptions unless this negotiation progresses better. So keep an eye here on the NASDAQ, trying to push back here to lows as we get some more comments suggesting that Canadian tariff exemptions are not yet on the way, guys. Back to you.
Interesting stuff. So
your best friend, man.
The story continues to unfold. Joseph, which way does this go?
Do you think
the hard negotiation tactics are putting off some of the Trump administration?
Of course. Wouldn't it put you off?
Yeah,
a little bit. You know what I mean? A little bit, right? So
Yes.
just to get the human aspect in it, it's like right now it's just kind of an eye for an eye type thing.
A little
right?
bit.
It's like,
It feels
you know what
that
I
way,
mean,
right?
right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, okay, you get a tariff. All right, well, you're going to tariff us. We're going to tariff you. And matter of fact, we paid for all this liquor, and we're not even going to sell it. That's it. We've already paid for it. We're not even going to sell it.
It's not
See you later.
Oh,
and you know what?
Joe.
You know what's funny though, Sharif?
Sir.
I started to see now there's like more LCBO ads on Snapchat, and it's like it's like buy Canadian products, etc. Right? So
They're
it's
marking all the Canadian products.
now
You're
they're
seeing
marketing
this?
everything, and it's called.
don't have a problem with
It's
that.
called the A-list. The A-list.
Oh, yeah?
The A-list.
the A-list.
The A-list,
Okay,
right? Because
okay.
we like to say A over here north of the
I'd
border.
be
So.
proud to buy Canadian, dude. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I just don't think the strategy is to antagonize a guy who's entirely unpredictable.
Right? Don't poke the bear.
Right? Yeah, there's a lot
Right,
better
yeah,
way to
so-
put it than my way, and that's just my thinking here because you don't know what the hell he's going to do. I just find him to be highly unpredictable, and I don't know. I felt like maybe. I don't want to use the word appeasing him. That's not what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be a little bit more quiet about the response.
Yeah.
But I feel like they didn't have that choice because they had to basically cater to their population. They have to show Canadians, bro, we're not going to just stand by while someone dunks on us. We're going to respond. So I feel like, they had to be loud about it.
I agree.
to
Yeah,
kind of-
for sure. Be like, hey, we're ready for this. We're ready for whatever he implements on us.
Right?
We're not just gonna sit here and
Tougher luck, man.
and take the beating, right? So yeah, that's a very valid point here, guys. All right, I'm gonna hop out of this TQ trade here, guys. Not looking good. You can see from my trend line that we just can't crack it. So that's just gonna tell me some more downside. So we're at a dodge on this one. So adios, muchachos, on TQQs, and maybe we'll look for a little bit more of a bounce. But again, this market is just so weak, and it's hard to find these pops. So me being a long bias trader, I can flip it, but I'm looking for those bounces, and we're just not getting it right now, Sharif. So that downwards momentum in full play here. I see you
There
in
he
there.
is.
Yeah, I see him.
He's shown
Whatever,
up.
I see
He
him.
gets an alert now when he
gets an
shows up.
Yeah, so
We're gonna do another one.
You
Just
got
that's
another
how
one
much I
there.
like him.
That's it. Hey, you know what?
And I have nothing in common with you trading wise. You trade the SPY. I don't trade the SPY. You want the world to burn. I want the world to go up and to the right. But I just like him. I like him. Big Spile Burdette has graced us with his presence. What are you shorting today, Big Spile? Is it the SPY? Is it the ES, right? Or are you looking at the NQ today? Tag me, my friend, and let me know what you're looking at. We want to call out your levels. Big Spile Burdette. All right, guys, we're involved in AEON. Quite happy with how this one has gone so far. We took some shares over here, scalped out at 72, scalped out at 74. The one at 76 still going, sadly, unfilled at the moment. So we're going to wait for that. And we'll see if we get a big boy break to the high side on AEON. Good look there. Bang, bang, bang. There he is. There's my guy. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. But now his name in the chat is Big Smile. Naveen, my man, I'm sorry I did not look at Moderna for you. Let's have a look right now. mRNA. I heard that this one was moving today. I didn't really have a look at it. Oh, it was yesterday that it was moving. Okay, that's the 5-minute chart. Good recovery lately for Moderna, especially since the 4th. So a couple of days ago, up and to the right. And since that time, we're up 20% in a matter of 3 days here on mRNA. Not a bad look. I mean, we were dancing with that $30 area. Now we're up to 35. So mRNA is a good look right now. Now you want the technical look. So we're technically negative on the day still because the closing print yesterday was about 35.25, give or take. We come up to that area, we reject. There is an area of support, though, that you may want to buy off over here. 34 1/3. Look at this area over here. Reject, reject multiple times. This was during the, this was after the bell. So this is actually legitimate trading hours over here at 34.30. So we'll see if that area comes back into play. But what I see right now is this 34.40 has been acting as support. You can kind of see the support over here. We move up into the high of day. We come back in. We're testing 34.50, 34.40. So this looks like to be the low end of the range, which makes sense because that was the high end of the range over here. So wait to see whether or not it actually defends that level. You could put an order right here, maybe give it a couple of shekels below 30. It's really up to you. It's really going to depend on how you execute on this. But mRNA, a good look recently. Intraday, though, or sorry, on the day, I should say, it's technically negative, but not by that much. 75 pennies off the day high. So that's a look right there. Still involved, guys, in AEON going unprinted, still dancing at 72s. On this name, this is up almost 51%. The other trade that we have shares on right now is PSTV. For the most part, we are defending 70 pennies. As you can see here, we wicked below it a couple of times. Now we're at 71 pennies. I'm long 72. None of my beak wetters have gone printed, at least not with this current share size. At 74s is where I'm waiting. We're still putting in lower lows and lower highs. Technically, you know, it looks like we're definitely consolidating, but there are these outlying candles over here that take us down. I don't mind defending all the way down into the volume weighted average price at 62 pennies. I can DCA into this because it's cheap, and I can just continue to add on this and get myself out of trouble. Not something I want to do, but I definitely want to trade it until it gives up VWAP. VWAP on my chart still showing 60 pennies. So ideally defend 70 and I don't have to sweat, but that is the look right now on PSTV. We'll keep an eye on that one and others. The other one I'm involved in, ALXO. The volume's really dropped off here and it's really hugging VWAP. So I've already put my stop below 30 pennies. It's going to have to hold 35. We added on this one initially. We had basically finished our entire position and then we had a DCA that I didn't clean up. So that's on me at that 34 penny area. Yeah, about 34 pennies, 35 pennies. That filled and now we're looking to move to the high side, but I'm going to give this to about 30 and see what comes of that. Just looking at my scanner up top to make sure there's no new small cap gappers that have weaseled their way onto the scene that I don't know about. Nothing really to my liking. And I'll submit to you guys, man, it hasn't been the best couple of weeks for small cap gappers. I feel they're a lot stronger when the market at large is strong, even though they're not really market related. I know that they kind of march to the beat of their own drum, but in general, I feel that they are a bit stronger when the market is going up. So the market hasn't been going up for a while. We already know that. So yeah, the small cap cappers have been a little bit not so good. All right, yeah, a little frothy. So let's take some more shareage off here on AEON. We'll wet the beak. They're doing well on this one, but definitely looking at doing a little bit better here, Joseph. What do you got, my man?
Yeah, back into some TQQs here, guys. Looking for the test of this trend line. We have definitive risk here. If we're out, if we break this, I'm just going to get out, and I'm not going to try the longs on this anymore, all right? So we put in this consolidation phase, couldn't construct any higher. We're just constructing higher lows here. Our lower highs, sorry guys, just all the way down. So I'm kind of fighting the trend, which I don't necessarily want to do, but we have a tight risk profile. If it breaks it to the downside, then we're going to get out of it. But again, we can try to run it up to about 66.80. I got to stop leaning forward like that. But yeah, here we go, because it's not good for the old back ski. But yeah, just the bleeding continuing. We're not getting any bounce in these names. Someone in the chat asked me to take a look at Nerve for them. Yeah, not liquid at all, right? And I said that to them in the chat. Like this thing has zero liquidity. liquidity, even if you break it down. So there's not much for me to really go over in this name. So yeah, that is it. Look to trade something that has a little more liquidity, and we will talk about it. But yeah, here we go, running into those the lows of days once again here, guys. So the market trend, just the primary trend, fully intact. Fighting it is not going to work, right? So just don't do that. Just wait for those opportunities to arise to the long side. If they do show themselves, we know that the overall sentiment is weak in the market. So it is what it is, guys. If we want to take a look at everything from a daily standpoint, which I think we should, to see what the market is up to. And again, so we've already given up the whole pop that we put in yesterday. It's gone, right? We now gave that back. Let's see how much from a percentage metric we are down from P. So about 9%, 9.5%. We're now tapping into that 10% pullback here in the Qs and in the SPY as well too, guys. So breaking through this support level, I mentioned this here, that around 478, that's going to be a next level that we can possibly run into as well, guys. So keep that in mind. I don't think that the selling is done. It takes a while for the selling to phase out, and we're not getting any turnaround signals whatsoever in the market. So yeah, don't fight the trend kind of like I am right now. Just stick to the trend, try to sell those, fade those tops, and if you did that, then you'd be sitting on a pretty penny because they had 10% pullback. Big smiles, loving that. But here we go. These are the trades on the day, guys. All right, so trade number 1 here. Trade number 2 up here, and then we got a little pop here. So we were 3 for 3 at that point, and then we go 3 for 4. And let's see if this one works out. This is now our 5th trade here. Joseph, these Qs, Scott Tomlin, I know, my God, it's like a boxing match. I know, it's just up, down. But one party seems to be winning here, Scotty, and it's the Bears here. So are we going to pop and break this trend line? If we are, then I think we'll be sitting okay, Sharif. Other than that, I'm going to hold on to this TQs trade and see if we can get the pop that we're looking for.
All right, I'm probably going to have to go restart that TV. I think it's frozen. Just need to keep an eye out on that. No, it's, yeah, let's say that. Banger plays. Could you look at LAC? For a swing trade play setup, looks good. Let's have a look at the daily here on LAC and see what the situation is. So this is Lithium America, right? I'm pretty sure. LAC. Lithium Americas, yes. Okay. So I like the space, obviously, with, green energy being a thing. But the chart, obviously, is not that good. It looks like they IPO'd. Well, was this a SPAC or was this an IPO? Kind of hard to tell. Let's go back and look. Show yourself. The open, it definitely looks like a SPAC because it opened up at 10. I could be wrong, but it doesn't really matter at this point anyway because that's kind of behind us. The point is, it's down and to the right, and it keeps making lower highs. So it's a bit of trouble here on LAC. Now, I don't know what you're liking about this lately because the trend lately has been quite down. Lower lows and lower highs. If you're looking from the area crest over here, back on October 29th, which is the local high, into that 525, 520. Now we're all the way down into 3. So what are you seeing in terms of area support that you like? Well, there could be this area 275, 3 that you're looking at bouncing off. It's not for me. I got to tell you the absolute truth. Not for me at all. Let's look at the 4-hour. Okay, 3. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot to like, banger plays. I got to tell you the truth, man. Unless you're trying to pick it up off a key area of support, I don't know what you're looking at, dude. So let me know. Tag me again in the chat. I saw your initial tag. I'm not sure what you're liking. Yeah, from a technical sense, it's down and to the right. You got the death cross as well. But it's shown as well its propensity to kind of fake you in with the crosses, with the 50 crossing the 200 for the golden, and then you get the death cross not that far after. So looks like this was an outsized volume area. You have a lot of volume bars over here. The ATR really shot up during that time. So I'm not sure exactly what was happening between March 2024 and April. So what the hell day was this? March 14th and April 18th, 2024, last year, a month of kind of elevated levels, and all hell broke loose to the downside. Let me know, but it's not my my kind of play, nor do I like it at these levels. I like the whole industry of lithium and mining. Obviously that's a good look there. If you're able to get the political will and the regulatory kind of push to do it, otherwise it's just the technicals don't jive, Joseph. What do you got?
Yeah, same thing here, Sharif. We're getting that trade into the trend line, so that's when I want to start piecing some out, all right? Even though this looks like somewhat of a breath, and if we can punch back through, but we're positioned half decent on it, and this is the whole game plan, right? Like, we got out of this trade, let the market sell off, phase off, put in a nice consolidation phase, and then like, hey, okay, let's see if we can bounce here. And that's when we get in. Now we've breached the top end of that trend line, so we're on the backside of it now, and now we're getting that continued pop. This is why you leave yourself enough risk for the ability to get back into trades. Being accurate in trading is so difficult, guys. So that's why it's like, okay, when trades are working, you want to let them work and you want to add into them, but you also want to give yourself enough ammunition to take multiple trades, okay? So keep that into consideration as well, too, all right? So it's like, okay, I like the setup on the day. Let me get in about 30% on the first trade here, whatever your risk measures may be, and then you can add into that full risk unit. But if things aren't working and it comes to your stop out, okay, yeah, you've lost like less than a full R, right? That's the game plan, and then it gives you the ability. It's like, okay, I'm allowed. My risk profile for the day is -3R. On my first trade, I lost half an R. You still have 2.5 Rs left, and if you want to break that up, that can be 5 trades, right? So break that up. Allow yourself to give yourself multiple entries for trades, because it's really, really difficult to be completely accurate, especially in the latter half of the session, guys. So keep that in mind. Gorev's back in NVDA for a potential bounce here as well, too. The Qs are bouncing. We broke that trend line that I was looking at. Let's see if we can continue. Maybe we tap into 68 here on the TQs. Sure.
All right, man. I'm just hoping for a print here, man. On PSTV. Come on, bro. Give me 72s. Yeah, I'm not asking for a whole lot, dude. It's just, it keeps rejecting area highs, and I just keep DCAing. So this is on me, guys. But shout out to... Who was asking me to look at Alcoa there a second ago? I just saw the message. Just look over here. Yes, SBP Trader. Sharif, can you look at AA Alcoa? Looks good. All right, let's have a look. AA. All right, what do we got on this bad boy? Alcoa. Okay, so number one, what do they do? So I have a bit of a better understanding. Vertically integrated aluminum company. Aluminum. Very tariff adjacent, which is engaged in, I don't know how to say that, bauxite mining, alumina refining, aluminum production, smelting and casting, and energy generation. So they deal with aluminum.
Oh.
Fantastic. What's going on?
Sharif, it's 1 o'clock.
Okay, I'll pause for a second. We'll look at AA in a hot second, and we're going to do the SPY. We're going to do the Playmaker poll.
You know who won it, though?
Shorts.
The shorts, baby.
Okay, well, I mean, 2 straight weeks.
Did I give
of
it away?
shorting, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's about
right?
time that. See, there we go. Eventually, the shorts were going to come into play, guys.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Let me know when you're ready.
All right. I am not ready. Now I'm ready. Let's go, guys. Let's
572.75.
572.75.
Yes, so we're taking profits at 570.75.
Ooh, you got that one right. I thought, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
All right,
75.
and then we're stopping out, Joseph, at 573.75.
73.75. Beautiful stuff there, guys. We are going short. Kyle, where are you, Big Smile himself? Hey, dude, look at this, Kyle. If you're paying attention right now, look at these shorts. We went short here. I put that up there for you. I put it in caps for you, but we lost $100. All right, so yeah, it's all right. Okay. But hey, the following short we made. Oh, did we lose it again, or did I document that wrong? I think I did. We hit it 2-1 somewhere there, folks. So I gotta go back and check what's going on here. Oh, 200, and I only put 100. Oh, that's share size. Okay, yeah, so we did hit the 2-1 here on one of these shorts there, guys. So big W on the short side there. We're in at 1 o'clock. Sharif, what are you cooking up?
All right, we're looking at AA for our man there. Here, SBP Trader. So Alcoa, look, it's a kind of a V-shaped retracement. It popped off yesterday's closing print at 32.40, goes to 33.84, so $1.40, and now we're below VWAP. We're dropping down almost break even on the day. We're printing 32.74, give or take. Let me just update that. 32.70, well off the highs. Let's see though what the situation is on the daily. So very consolidative. And it doesn't look like it reacted too much. I don't know what countries they have exposure to because I don't know anything about the company. but it doesn't look like it reacted too much here, at least to the tariff talk. You're not seeing outsized days. You're seeing regular, range trading. Okay, so to the high side, there's an obvious area of resistance here in the mid to high 40s. You can kind of see the double top there, initially at 46 back in early June, and then we topped out there again with 47s and 46 acting as resistance, both in October, November, and late November again. Looks like we're kind of in the mid-range over here. Now, if I had to choose something good to say about it, there is this upper trend line, this support trend line over here, where we're kind of putting in these higher lows. So we just bounced off that line, 31. So this could be an interesting area to get in on Alcoa for a nice move up, possibly up into 44, 46 if you're awfully lucky. I like the higher lows. I don't like the consolidative range that I'm seeing on the daily, but I certainly like these higher lows here on Alcoa. I hope you print up a storm. Adara, give us more information, please.
Yes, of course, Sharif. So I actually, when you mentioned Alcoa, I remember reading comments from the CEO last week. So I looked into this, and that actually was correct. He was commenting about tariffs. His name is William Opplinger. And basically, he said Tuesday, February 25th, that he believes President Donald Trump's at that time proposed tariffs on aluminum and steel would actually result in fewer U.S. jobs in the sector. He actually mentioned at the time how many jobs he believed would be cut, but it was pretty significant. So he said, based on a 25% tariff, it'll destroy about 20,000 direct U.S. aluminum industry jobs and could also result in 80,000 jobs indirectly related to the industry being cut. So definitely William Opplinger was not a fan of the tariffs. In terms of where they produce, Sharif, because I know you mentioned that as well, apparently they primarily produce here specifically for aluminum in Canada and the U.S. And interestingly enough, in case you missed it, the main reason for tariffs is because Donald Trump wants to emphasize production in the U.S. Caroline Leavitt, his press secretary, said basically the same thing yesterday. Well, William Opplinger, CEO of Alcoa, actually said that he's not even sure if the company wants to invest in increasing U.S. production at all because of the tariffs. So certainly these tariffs having the opposite effect here for Alcoa. That is in terms of how they're impacted by tariffs. It could result in the direct loss of 25,000 jobs, according to William Alcoa, if the 25% tariff is all we get there, guys. Back to you.
Yeah. Great information, Adara. Thank you so much for that. Adding color, adding context. Kill it, Adara. Seeing Caroline Leavitt, she's on right now with Steve Witkoff, who is the Middle Eastern envoy. Nothing really to report on there. We're keeping an eye on any time Donald Trump is going to talk. We're trying to keep an eye on it because you know what's happening, Joseph. I mean, like he'll be in a completely innocuous meeting or a presser with something that has nothing to do with the market. He'll get asked a question by a reporter which is market related. He'll tank the markets and it won't be covered on the news channels or the business news channels, that is, because, well, it wasn't business related. So it's always like an after the fact situation. So from now on, we're keeping eyes on Donald. We want to know when Donald is talking. He's been tanking the markets, Katina, man. And, that's a bit of an issue. Hit the Donald dance.
Hit the Donald
dance. Where
are
you, Donald? Show yourself.
Show yourself, man.
There you go. Get it, Donald. That's Donald 1.0, though. You can tell because he's got more hair there. We need Donald 2.0, where he's lost a little.
I love it when they're doing the roast of him, and they're like, what? Do you remember when they're like, what do a wet raccoon and Donald Trump's hair have in common? You remember when they said that? And he's like, a wet raccoon doesn't have $1 billion freaking dollars.
Yeah. The roast was sick. You got to give him credit for getting roasted. But Bieber did like a good roast too. I roast as well. So shout out to the Biebs.
Good stuff there. We got a $5 super chat here, Sharif.
Okay.
I'm looking for the bang here. Switch the little things up here. Bang. We'll hit the siren for you there. $5. Can you look at JD? For sure. So we were talking about the ADRs quite often this morning. I was trading them. I'll pull up my trades as well, too. We'll take a look at it from a broader perspective. We're going to zoom out here. So you can see that we're just steadily holding this trend line on the way up. And I was listening to some CNBC yesterday and some analysts, and it's like, okay, let's not... They're saying don't jump the gun just yet, saying that China is an investable space, obviously, right? So, again, it's your call, but you have to also take the numbers into consideration because, Sharif, we know that they don't lie, right? Numbers do not lie. And year to date, China is performing significantly better than the NASDAQ and the S&P. All right, so you got to take that into consideration here, right? So like since the beginning of the year, let's find out what we got from a percentage metric. If we're going to go to the top, 35%, right? Like it's the inverse. And if we go to the likes of Baba, right? Let's see what we got from the beginning of the year. Like I almost don't believe what I'm seeing here, and for some reason it's like misleading. 72% at those highs, right? From the start of the year, so year to date, performing significantly better as some of these names. So it's up to you. I like JD for the foreseeable future, and I'm really starting to like some of these China names as well too, Sheree.
Yeah, man, and look, it was tough trading these Chinese names during the last 4 years, okay? There was obviously a very hawkish tone taken towards China, whether it was from the chips export ban or the politics or whatever it was tough. So being bullish China kind of hasn't been in vogue for a hot minute. And you know, the comments that they dropped yesterday vis-a-vis the Chinese embassy in the United States, which is basically they're willing to fight the states in whatever war, a tariff war, a political war, an actual war, that doesn't help either. But I kind of felt that was just sort of setting the stage for the negotiations that we know are going to take place between President Xi and Donald Trump in the not too distant future. Whereas we didn't hear pronouncements like that, funny enough, during the previous administration when there was more, I would say, anti-China sentiment. So funny things are happening. You know, I like China now for the possible trade. I feel the Chinese EVs are vastly superior to most American EVs, Tesla excluded, obviously. And whether or not the North American market becomes a protectionist market and keeps them out there, I think that they'll be quite, smart about it, and they'll be able to diversify into other markets, and I see potential upsides for them. Now, which ones you guys get involved with is going to be really up to you. Guys, we're involved now in PSTV. We're long 68s now. We wet the beak up into 74s, but this is having all sorts of trouble. It feels like the shorts are absolutely in control of this. Even on the bounces up, it can barely catch a bid. It takes way long to get any sort of movement up and almost no time to drop back down. It's like it has nothing to do with the market, completely trading independently, but the bullishness isn't there. The algos are not trading this in the way that you would expect, especially off key areas of support. So I'm trying to pack my patience here and extract profits as I can. But, it feels like a really heavy trade to the upside. We'll see exactly what happens with this one. ALXO doing real well. We took out more there at 141. Next area, we're waiting at 145. This one, AEON. We're doing okay on this one. Not much to report. We're a couple of pennies in the money on this. Definitely having trouble taking out 76 pennies. What I do like about this, though, is the continuous higher highs, higher lows. You can kind of see that through the trend line there. Let's see if it wants to pop back up and take out 76 pennies. But these sub $1 names, it's like pulling teeth, man. It's so boring, so slow, so much volume churning, but nothing in terms of actual price action manifest, whether to the high side or the downside. So quite just annoyed with these ones. So I'll pack my patience. If I get something to the high side, fantastic. If not, we'll get stopped out, Joe.
Hey, yeah, good luck there. We got another $5 super chat here, Sharif. Thai TV or Thank You TV. Mostly trade options, but love you guys. You've taught me how to read charts over the past year. No, we love you, Thai TV, and thank you for that super chat. Guys, I got stopped out break even on my TQQ trade, and it continues to rip. I had that trend line drawn from before, guys, and it held almost to a T. Now trading back higher, I didn't want to hop right back in. Didn't want to be too impulsive here, but it looks like we might get this slow curl over. I wouldn't call it necessarily a rounded bottom here, guys, but in the SPY and in the Qs, it looks like we might turn the corner. We still have to be slightly patient. Let me grab out one of my trusty tools here.
Grab that tool.
Grab that tool. Grab that tool. All right, so yeah, you can see that we're, whoa, okay, all right, maybe not. Show yourself. All right, so yeah, guys, you can see that we're slowly starting to curl back over here, but we have that base as well, that resistance zone there too, guys. So we need to take that into consideration. So I still like this rounded potential bottom here, holding these lows. We almost put in, like, what is that, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes straight and continuing to the downside. But this 30-minute stretch where we didn't even pull back, now the TQs decide that they want to rip a little bit higher. There is a key resistance zone. We'll get down to the lower time frames here to see what we got cooking up on the 1 minute. And this is going to be a key resistance zone, I believe, here, guys. So we need to monitor this. If we reject that or sit on top of it, maybe we get somewhat of a pullback here, Shree.
All right, just throwing out my stop for PSTV. I'm going to throw it. Let's go 65.5, and we're going to take out everything there into 64.5. So that's the share size. So we'll throw that on there because I'm kind of running out of patience with this one, and it's also showing a bit more in terms of volume on the sell side. You can kind of see that with the book being a little bit heavy on the ask side when you're seeing size posted. That is, when it's not an iceberg order, it's definitely heavier on the right side of the book than it is on the left side, and that usually just means that more downside is coming. We're long 68s. It's showing me 69.70s right now, so trying to plan ahead for that. Now I'm watching this bad boy as well. No, that's not that bad boy. There we go. AEON taking profits to the high side over here. Took out some at 74, now waiting at 76. I'd rather not take out too much on both of these because they're all putting higher lows. I'm talking about PSTV. I'm talking about AEON. Despite the fact that they are off highs, they're holding the higher low situation. So if we do get that pop up and we get into that 80 penny area, high 80 pennies, I don't want to be holding a few shares and then feel awfully stupid having de-risked all the way down here for a lesser profit. So trying to keep my eye out on that 75 penny area on AEON. That seems to be the area of note. Here we go, 75 pennies right now. We're showing 74.5. We'll see if we can cross a little bit there, 74.75. I'm waiting at 76, but true to form, it's a hard row to hoe with so many different levels off which you can post sell orders, and that's kind of what's keeping these bad boys down. We'll see if we can take out some of these sellers and move into the high side. So AEON, yeah, right about that 75 pennies area again, but does reject. Not much else for me, guys. In terms of trades that I'm seeing right now, I was having a look at the scanner up top to see if there was anything of note coming anew. This is the only one that I kind of want to give another try to. So I'm negative on Viking Therapeutics, VKTX. We got stopped out of that one. So we are negative on that. It was actually my biggest loser on the day, this bad boy right here. But here's the deal. Now it's weaseled into VWAP, and it's put a 4 candle or 3 candle, we're currently in the 4th, bottoming tails where, they kind of move down into a level, then you get bought right back up. So we're holding this 29.50, exactly where VWAP is. So I'm thinking possibly an entry here on Viking Therapeutics and then taking that area low below 29.40, basing it on this candle here that manifested at 110. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know if I want to jump into that quick as you like. Oh, goodness. PSTV, no. Where are you? Goodness gracious, this one's killing me, bro. It's killing me. All right, what do you got?
Yeah, we're running into the top of the zone. I don't want to buy into resistance here, guys. So we're just going to wait a little bit here. It's unfortunate because I did want to add to this position, but then we had this liquidity grab, right? So you can see that we had this solid base support level around that 66 level. And then we have this liquidity grab right into the trend line that we had drawn prior and hold that trend line and then trade higher. So if there's a re-entry, you kind of get that tweezer type candle price action right here, the hold of the trend line, and then you go and test the top of the resistance zone. So I don't want to buy the resistance zone, especially in this market environment. I don't want to be buying into it, especially this late into the session as well too. So we're sitting around 120 on the day. I don't want to just be like, hey, okay, I'm going to punch in at this resistance zone, especially when all these pops have been faded. So what we need in order for us to start to participate in this trade and continue for this pullback to see if it comes into fruition is we need that volume to step in, or I need to position myself extremely well where I can survive through a pullback. And buying at the top of the range isn't going to help me survive through a pullback, okay? So I would have to put a stop in Now that I think about it, it's not so horrible, but if I can get anywhere close in the middle of this range, then I can still use this prior support level here as my out and then have like better positioning and then also have an increased risk to reward ratio if we are going to target the volume weighted average price, all right? A lot of people, Jimmy Donnelly, I'm going to look at VZ for you because you have been asking multiple times. Let's see what we got going on in Verizon. Oh, the market. All right. Let's see what we got cooking up on Verizon from a daily standpoint. I remember I was trying to like play my buddy Greg V and I were like trading this thing, trying to do like a swing trade on it, like way back in like 23 or something along those lines, or 24 maybe. Yeah, mid 24, early 24. Just didn't work out. I'm like, it is what it is. But here we go, starting to trade higher. These are the key zones, right? You want to look at the next key levels that it has to pass through and what will require it in order for to do so. I must have some levels marked out here. Oh, there's a prior gap fill to play as well. I don't know. I don't think I tried to trade this one, but you can see that this gap was filled back in November of 24. And then now we're going to run into the top of that zone, right? So this is where that gap would be started. And then you gap down and now you can see that it's rejected it multiple times. So what you need is you need to sit on top of this zone, and then that's where you can look to climb a little bit higher. From a daily standpoint, it looks pretty strong, but from an intraday standpoint, it's extremely strong as well too there, guys. So good look there on VZ. You need to sit on top of that range in order to continue higher, in my opinion. So just wait for that to come into play, all right? So PLTR working on that flat bottom break. Let's take a look at PLTR. Oh yeah, it's not looking too pretty here on the day. I know like last week or the week before that, it was trading as low as 75. And it's unfortunate that we weren't in this name when I wanted to get into it way at 17, but it is okay. Let's see how much we're down. Wow, 125 all the way to a low of 75 here, Sharif. 36% retracement there. That is correction-esque territory, but it is holding this top here. So this, you can see it acted as resistance. Now it's somewhat acting as support. You do get those whipsaw moves through those key levels. But at some point, I do believe that Palantir is going to be a buy and it's going to hold the hundreds. I think you just need to be a little bit patient on this one.
All right, guys. I got stopped at a PSTV, put myself out of misery there. We're going to go negative on this one, but it could have been a lot worse. So done this trade. I'm doing well on this one over here, which is AEON. This is the one we got size on both. Not as much, obviously, on AEON, but definitely looking for this one to take out 76. It's got a seller at 75. I was able to extract some profits there quick as you like at 75. Now I'm waiting at 76. We'll see if this one wants to break through that $0.75 level. I should tell you, here we go, 75 again. When it came up into 75, there was definitely nothing posted on the gateway. It was just really all hidden orders. Here we go. So you can see we're rejecting 75, but there's really nothing showing, oh, big seller at that level. So we're going to have to continue to wait to see whether or not we can take out that hidden seller there. Now, PSTV, I should tell you the volume weighted average price on PSTV is about 61.5 pennies, give or take. Essentially 62, 61 pennies in and around that area. That's VWAP. I don't want to take it there, okay? Because, you know, I've DCA'd into it. I traded it in a way where it definitely is not ideal. So I don't want to be, you know, trying to catch falling knives, especially if this one has been putting in lower lows and lower highs, essentially since 12:10. So for an hour and 10 minutes, it has been doing the same thing. So I definitely don't want to keep fighting with this one. We'll keep an eye on ALXO, where we still have some shares there. But I was just quickly looking actually at the MAG. And the MAG are all doing these rounded bottoms. They're all kind of curling back up. I see Apple kind of trying to rounded bottom as well. Likewise here with Meta. You're already seeing it on Microsoft that's already rounded bottom into VWAP. Likewise with Google. You can kind of see relative weakness on NVIDIA and Tesla and Amazon because they're not able to round as much. So you can kind of gauge which ones are stronger based on how complete the rounded bottom is. MSFT, complete, gets into VWAP. Goggles, more than complete. It cleared VWAP. Apple on the way, you know, you definitely can keep an eye on those bad boys there. So that's what I'm trying to look to do right now. I'm trying to weasel my way into a MAG. I'm not really pleased with how the small cap gappers have been trading as of late, so I'm not going to try and extract profits from that. No good for me. So let's load up AAPL and see what the situation is on this bad boy. So VWAP on Apple is 68. Let's give this one the old college try. Let's keep an eye out on the future. Okay, so I want to mention one quick thing. That we're at 20,200 right now, about 5 points below it. So we know what the whole dollar level, or sorry, the 100-point levels on the future end up being. They are areas of support and resistance typically. So let's see if we can catch something on a dip down here on the dead one Apple and look to extract some profits to the high side if it will allow me. So I'm looking for a rounded bottom here on Apple. That's going to be my thinking for this, into a volume weighted average price retracement, which is currently 60s. All right, we got a couple of good prints there. Already 20 pennies in the money. Dang, that was quick. Where was that with PST crap on that stock? So we're waiting now at 45s. It's showing me 41s. Let's see if we can extract some more here on the way to what I perceive to be a nice VWAP curl if the market does allow. So that's what I'm looking at right now, guys. Involved in Apple at 18s. Let's see if it curls back up, Joe.
Yeah, Jimmy Donnelly, man. What a call. Yeah, Jimmy, what a call out there on Verizon. It's the best looking chart on the day, in my opinion. So,
it's a statement.
I think so. Yeah, you mean that's a big statement. You know what I mean? Like that's not a bad looking chart. That's a good looking intraday chart. Like so you get pullback 1 and then pullback 2. Like we're just respecting VWAP throughout this whole trend here, Sharif, and that's beautiful. So yeah, good luck there, Jimmy Donnelly on VZ there. So yeah, wanted to get it, Jimmy. So yeah, I mean that's a good look, guys. I'm tempted to get into the TQs here, but the thing is though, I just mentioned that you got to look at this from a risk to reward standpoint. If this liquidity grab didn't happen, I'm pointing at the wrong chart. If this liquidity grab didn't happen, then we're still in this trade and we're very much alive. But instead we got stopped out break even, and that's okay. Because we got the pop that we were looking for. We were in here, but if I had the ability to catch anything slightly better, then I would still be in this trade, and then that's where you can get that potential add as well too, guys. So take that into into consideration. So we'll hold off here. If you were to buy into this resistance zone, you're just sitting in a choppy mess here. So that's it. But I think these guys got some news on here. So.
Akon, guys. Convict Music. The problem with this one is it had a midday headline that I did not know about. Let's load up the chart first and foremost, show you exactly what people are yelling about this in the chat. It's halted to the downside, or was. It is halted at $1.60. Akon is down 77.14%. Here it is. Here's what I'm seeing. A Clarion has announced now. Let me just tell you what time that came in. Came in at 10:15. The halt down was 9:30. So let me just make sure that this did come in at 9:30. Okay. So let's just make sure these are the same. Radnot. Yeah, it is. Okay. So the 9:30. This came in at 9:30, and it halted down at the time. Here it is. Oh God, Apple.
What's it doing?
A Clarion has announced its plans to expand Naucasian access across markets in New York and New Jersey. The expansion plans build on previously established Naucasian, I don't know, bro. Sites with Radnet affiliates in both states and are driven by increased availability of MR spectroscopy and enhanced remote operations capability with Radnet to meet growing market demand, blah, blah, blah. The additional sites, this, that, and the other. Okay, I don't know why this is so bad. It doesn't matter what I think, though. The market doesn't like it. It tanked. It's all the way down from 7 and change where we closed out yesterday down to $1.60 now. Tough look right now. Very bad look, actually, on this name. And just true to form, you'd get distracted for a second. Now definitely down on Apple. What are you doing over there, Joe?
Yeah, same thing here. I'm just waiting for this precise entry. Apple coming back into the range as well too here, guys. So that's what I'm referring to, right? Like it's hard to buy into resistance. It's hard to buy into resistance when the market continues to fade every pop, all right? Yeah. Anyways, so I'll try not to laugh, but I can't hold it back sometimes, you know what I mean? We're going to see what Adair is up to.
Just going to take a look here. We have a new graphic here from TTV Research. Been really busy with news, but had the time here, was able to find the time today to make this new infographic, which I'm really excited to debut here. This is a look at each of the Mag 7's declines from their all-time high. including when that all-time high was made, what day, and what the all-time high was. So Tesla, by far the largest drop here, down about 42% from its all-time high of almost $500 made on December 18th. Microsoft was the least recent to make their all-time high. They made theirs on July 5th, 2025. And interestingly enough, Google and Amazon's all-time highs were made on the exact same day, February 4th, 2025. So if you want more details on this and to see the sad faces of these CEOs in greater detail, go on X at TTV Research. You can find infographics, earnings updates, all that and more. Back to you.
Yeah, guys, so this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? So you can see that now if I were to enter at the top of this range, essentially I have to risk all the way down here because price action is just chopping around in these ranges and you're going to get stopped out. I don't know if you guys remember that that South Park episode where they're learning how to ski and it's like if you don't pizza, you're going to have a bad time, right? And that's just how it is. So you got to put them at the top and the bottom of these ranges, and you're not going to get these breakouts right now. This market is just, the sentiment is too weak. So someone in the Pizza Brat said to me in the chat, I said, Joe, you got to short, and he's right. You just got to fade these pops here, Shreve. And that's what I got to look to do here shortly.
Yes, sir. All right. So I'm involved in Apple, looking to get out of trouble with this one. Let's see if it holds up at that 234 area. Still involved in this bad boy, though. Happy with this trade. AEON finally taking out the tops. We got that 76 print. Let's see exactly what we got on this bad boy up here. Let's see if we can take some more out. What do we got? How many shares we got here on AO? Yeah, we're decent. We'll take out some now at 78 if it'll have us up there. I just added into the position. It's been that kind of day, but that's all right. So we'll look to take out some there at 78. There we go. Now we got that bad boy right. Back to Apple, because this one is coming against me. I'm just going to keep adding into this. I don't give a shit. So that's what we're doing right now with AAPL. Oops, wrong one there. There we go. Looking to get out of trouble with this one, but the future did reject 20,200. It is back down to 150, so it's coming all the way back down. A bit of a tougher look right now. The low of the day, or the area low on Apple, is around 234. So we'll see if the buyers are stepping in at around that level. They are not stepping in right now. Everything coming back off the highs. I'm talking about the volume weighted average price on Softy. Likewise with Google, it was a 200-point area on the future, and it looks like it was a 20 exponential for these others like Tesla and Nvidia. It did kind of curl back up into there and then reject it. So AAPL not being spared, no Mag 7 being spared on the day. All down into the right. Lots of zig, lots of zag. A bit of a troubled day today on these markets. I'm still involved in this bad boy, though, not AEON. This other one up here, there we go, ALXO. This one continues to kind of defend that 34 penny level. I've been waiting at 45s here for a long time, neither of which has been able to come in for the print. So we'll pack our patience there, see if we can get anything before the end of the show. Still waiting on see if Apple wants to defend this 234.20 area. That the buyers have been stepping in here recently, so we're getting a nice pump up there with long 63s. So still about 15 pennies out of the money or so. We'll see if we get a move up. Adira, though, does have breaking news at the big desk.
You sure, but it's actually not tariff related either. So I'm seeing this headline come through on X. Unsure who initiated this or who reported this, but seeing reporting here that OpenAI and Oracle are eyeing NVIDIA chips worth billions of dollars for their Stargate project. In case you missed it, early into his presidency, Donald Trump announced that there's going to be this Stargate project for AI, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of investment there from companies like Oracle, OpenAI, and ARM. So keep an eye. There's another one as well that I'm missing, but keep an eye here. SoftBank. Keep an eye on NVIDIA as we have NVDA trying to curl OpenAI and Oracle reportedly looking to spend billions of dollars here on chips for Stargate. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adira. What do you got, Joe?
Yeah. Okay, guys. I heard what you were saying earlier, Sharif. No Mag 7 being spared today. As a matter of fact, there isn't a sector that is being spared today, my guy. So consumer staples, we're going to go over the top performing, and there is no one really doing that well today. It is blood in the streets for today's sessions, guys. So consumer staples down about 1/3% there, guys. So not looking too good in the overall market. Energy sector down about 0.5% as well too. Materials down about 2/3 as well, guys. So not a single red sector on my sector performance here.
Green sector.
Green sector on my in the performance here. So everything else red. Consumer discretionary in third last, down about 2.3%. Technology sector down about 2.4%, and then the real estate sector down about 2.5%. All right. So that is the look. We are getting that bounce now though, Sharif, in AAPL that you're looking for. I know what you're saying. So there you go. Your couple pennies in the money. Nice work there. Holding that support level very, very well. I was looking to buy it, but the thing is, I was mentioning before, it's like it's so risky to buy some of these bottoms and these tops because you don't know what bottom's going to fall out here. So there we go, guys. Nice little bounce here in AAPL. Can the rest of the market start to follow? Only time will tell. NVDA just chopping around this range. The Mag 7 chopping around a range. I want to see if I can get into IBID. Around these specific levels. Sorry here, guys. I want to get in around the lows here. So if we can hold this low, get a pullback in and around this range, then I'm going to look for that pop up to here. Maybe we can get to the top of the range, and here it goes. Again, I'm not going to buy the top just yet. Going to be a little bit more patient, but it is starting to pull back here. You're getting that pop there in Apple there, my guy. Let's go. Turn that frown upside down, and you're getting it in Apple.
Holy cow, bro.
Dang.
That was just frustrating. I don't usually do that, but there we go.
Dang.
All right, so we got out of some trouble there. Happy with that pop. We got filled all the way up, believe it or not, in 235. So something spiked up right into 235. Don't know what's going on there with the dead one, AAPL. But now we got 42s going back into 64s. The best print that I had was that 234.90 something or so. It was a quick up there and then a move right back down. You can tell that was certainly an algo spike there, no question about it. So we're going to take out more here in the 70s as we pop up. So now we got 37s right now. So we're nicely in the money. But this one just looks like it's just trouble, like it wants to flat bottom break. So the fact that I was able to get out of this is just, it's not good trading. I'm just going to put that out there, okay? If I was doing this at any other time, I'd be disappointed in myself right now. But I got out of trouble, and that's really the only thing that matters to me at the moment. So we're going to continue to let this one run. Let's see exactly what happens here. Where are we long? 32s, okay, 71. Let's just have a look at this for a sec before I flip back to small cap gappers. So 235, certainly a bit of a resistance level there, but the real resistance levels seems to be 235.20-ish. That's where the rejections were coming for the most part. And then you had a quick wick up into 40s. That's the only place that it got printed. Yeah, this is coming right back down. That's the end of the trade. Okay, so let's have a look now at this one. There we go. AEON gave me the print at 78s. I'm proud of this one. This one I traded the right way, not like Apple, which was traded the wrong way. How many shares do we have left here on AEON? We got some shares. Nice. Okay, so we're going to wet the beak. Here we go with 77s. Let's take out some right there. And now I'm going to set up at 80. So 80 technically will be a high of the day test. 82 is, excuse me, that's incorrect. So I am front running the high of the day with this 80 print. Let's see if it wants to pop off into that area. Not a bad look here on AEON. How about the one that we were talking about earlier, PSTV? What did that one end up doing? I think I have it here. Yeah, happy I got out of that Apple trade. It's right back down. Nope, that's not the one. Where is that one? PSTV. There it is. Okay, so this one did defend that 63 penny area, which is interesting because that's a skosh above the volume weighted average price. I was telling you guys that VWAP was around 62. Now, it popped off that level, but look what it's doing. It's still doing the exact same thing with lower highs and basically lower lows. It is a downward channel. However you look at this, I mean, that's basically what it is. So I don't think the VWAP bounce here is as operative as, it would be if we hadn't such a long pronounced downward channel, Joseph.
But, Sharif, you know what time it is?
What?
E-Signal. New traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything infinite. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading?
Yes.
Scan the QR code and check the link in the description. Right there, guys. You got it. You got the e-signal. So you're already on the elevation path, my guy. You're already on the, yeah.
Did you see Turkey?
Yeah. And Dana?
Yeah, you saw that? Yeah. He met with Shaq. I don't know what he's going to do with Shaquille O'Neal, but apparently he's doing something with Shaquille O'Neal and Tom Brady. Yo, Turkey's everywhere.
He's everywhere, man. The guy's got cash. Okay, guys.
Homie.
Yeah, straight. Let's see what they do with that promotion.
Moss? Straight cash, homie.
Yeah, straight. Yeah. How are you going to pay that fine? How are you going to pay that cash? Straight cash. How are you going to pay that fine?
Straight cash, homie.
Take the ball deep, take the top off the defense, and that's what we like to do.
Hey.
You remember that? You remember when you saying that? Yeah.
He was in the parking lot.
Yeah.
He walked up on it.
I don't even know some of the,
Like mid-2000s camera phone.
Take the ball deep, take the top off the defense.
Yeah.
He's sick right now, apparently, isn't
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has
real?
cancer. Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, I swear, yeah. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he does. So yeah,
hearing that
one of the best wide receivers of all time there. So, Randy Moss. I'll never forget his one-handed catch in the end zone. It was just like, how is that even possible? Like, how do you do that? But anyways, guys, that is Randy Moss himself. But what's not mossing right now with us right now, Shreve, is IBIT heading towards the low of these ranges, guys. So we have that support level. If we crack here, 50-20, your boys out of Dodge. We're going to hold on to this. Still negative on the session, 2.21%. Do we have a time at what time, Donald, roughly that Donald's going to speak tomorrow on this reserve?
I kept looking with the AI. I kept asking, and like it wasn't available. It kept telling me that that's the date.
Yeah.
And what time is the crypto? Adira, you got it? Okay, go ahead.
There's actually this crypto event here, which we're not even sure if Trump is going to be speaking at. It's going to be 1:30 to 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. We actually don't know who the speakers are, though one of them is highly expected to be David Sachs, crypto czar and AI czar. He's highly expected to lead the meeting, but there's very few details as to actually what's going to take place. It's 4 hours long, held tomorrow by the White House, the Crypto Summit. And again, only person we're very likely is there is David Sachs. So, of course, Trump is also likely to attend 1:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. So this is not all going to be during market hours tomorrow. Trump is also set to sign executive orders in about 20 minutes at 2 p.m. Eastern. Back to you.
Adira, thank you so much for that. Super important to have the time there. I love the fact that it's actually going to start during market hours, and we'll get the initial half of it 1:30, so we'll go 1:30 to 2 on our show, and then the big boys will take over into the close. So yeah, 1:30 to 5:30. Saying thanks so much for that, Adira. I don't know. This thing says it will be led by President Donald Trump and organized by David Sachs, the White House AI and crypto czar. The summit aims to bring together industry leaders, investors, and policymakers to discuss the future of cryptocurrency regulation and innovation. And we got more information yesterday, Joseph, about the nature of the Bitcoin strategic reserve, or whatever they're going to call it. As we mentioned on Monday when we got the headline on Sunday, that there will be other coins other than Bitcoin in that reserve. However, and this is the biggest kind of point that we want to make, Bitcoin will be given special treatment. What that means, Joseph, I don't know. We'll have to wait for tomorrow for...
Just have to be patient.
For David Sachs, maybe to give us that information or what the deal is. So just on Sunday, to repeat, guys, on Sunday, the president goosed, this article says by Axios, the crypto market by announcing he would put several cryptocurrencies in his reserve, not just Bitcoin, but I suspect it was a PR stunt ahead of time. So this is somebody's opinion, obviously. I think it's Sarah Grillo from Axios. This is her article here. But also for sure, we will hear more about the reserve, crypto, and AI czar David Sachs teased that today. Inside the room, it's hard to glean much from the guest list. If there is one commonality among the folks who have said they are going, is that they are almost all cases have deep pockets. Michael Saylor will be there. You probably already knew that. Your friend Brian Armstrong, the shiny one, is going to be there as well. Arjun, you think of it, Adira. Arjun Seth of Kraken is going to be there as well. Chris Marzalak and Vlad Tenev, obviously, we know the Robinhood CEO is going to be there. Some investors will be on hand. Matt Huang of the Crypto Investor Paradigm. I don't know who this person is. Kyle Samani, Zach Witkoff. Yeah, so some of these names, I don't know who they are. They're all associated with different, I guess, coins. Who is not going? Reporters, as far as we know, are not going. So, but a White House spokesperson tells me that something will come out for reporters. So I guess the media not invited to this shtick tomorrow, the shing-ding or whatever. Our thought bubble, she goes on to say, if I had to guess what kind of surprise announcement might hit, I'd put it in the energy area. I could imagine a world where a deal is announced for a big energy production facility. This would be exciting for Bitcoin miners, she goes on to say, or maybe it brings in someone from the SEC with a bunch of ETF approvals. Yeah, we already got the main approvals yet. I mean, obviously, the people who hold other coins may think differently. What we're watching for, she goes on to say, the plan for the crypto reserve. Sachs has been clear that a plan is coming. My guess is that there's something surprising, some surprise funding stream to buy crypto assets. She goes on to say there's already $17 billion worth or so in the custody of the U.S. Marshals. Maybe they plan to devote some portion of sales or other seized property to buying cryptocurrency. That's actually really smart. That way you wouldn't have to go into the purse and get approval from Congress.
Use the tax dollar, the taxpayers' dollars. Right?
Well, you don't even need to.
But
yeah,
with that, exactly, right? With that, so you don't have to use the tax.
That would be interesting. I didn't think about that either. I don't know how it all works legally and what they have to cross their T's and dot their I's about, but it's super interesting. If you're involved in Bitcoin, you're definitely going to want to be all ears tomorrow. I know I certainly will be, Joseph.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm going to be all ears. I'm all ears right now too, Sharif. We got a nice indecision print on the 1 minute, but it's just the longs, right? And this is where you got to review your trades at times as well too. I said, okay, I don't want to buy into resistance, try to position slightly better, but then you can see that it just constructs a lower high and then continues to sell. And before I got into this trade, I'm like, I should just fade this because I believe it was a much easier trade, especially from a mental capital standpoint as well too, guys. So that is the look on there. Maybe we get a bounce right now. I do want to get involved in it. You see what Harry Lou said?
Yeah,
Who is more confident with the Cardi bet right now?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything's fine.
It's fine. Yeah, don't worry about nothing right now.
Good.
Bitcoin's gonna a rising tide lifts all ships. Let's see if Bitcoin can do that for us here, guys. We're back into this trade on that indecision print on the 1 minute, and here we go, Sharif. We're getting that pop that we are looking for. Hopefully that can continue. We're gonna look to go to this support level and maybe back into the middle of that range. If it breaks the low of that candle, then we're gonna get out of dodge. Market continuing to bleed here. Hopefully we get a bounce.
Joseph, we are in a full state of tank on the Mag 7 right now. The worst of the bunch, I'm sure people are not surprised, is the Cybertruck. Tesla down.
I haven't even looked today.
6. Eek. The ominous number, 666s, baby. Look at Randy coming ear to ear. Joker, bro. I love it. Tesla's down. We're testing 260, Katina, man. So the blood is in the streets right now. There's no doubt about it. 6.6% for the Cybertruck. We're second worst off. You guessed it. NVDA. Oh, baby. We're coming down.
Whoa. Yeah. I'm like, yo, whoa.
I didn't even feel him there.
I was like, whoa. All right. That's how you always got to watch your back at all times, man.
I know, straight up. Let's show him the chart if I can. On the 15 here on NVIDIA, yes, it is a full state of lower highs and lower lows. You don't need to be a chartered market technician to draw this downward channel over here. So Tesla is making lower lows and lower highs, it feels like, on almost daily basis now. So keep that in mind. Sorry, that's NVIDIA, excuse me. That's a look on the NVDA as we come in, I guess, to test these Tuesday lows. 108.80, I believe, was the Tuesday low there. So we'll keep tabs on NVDA as everything kind of down and to the right. Third worst off, is the Zuck train down over 4%. Guys, what's the details here on the from high to low area? Okay, Joseph, that 741 pop from yesterday's low, we're down, 16%. So well past correction territory right now, Katina, man, on META. But there is possible support here, guys. So we did bounce off that low on Tuesday, that 620-ish area, because look at this area top here on Meta. So 633, 630, give or take. We'll have to see if that area holds up. I don't have a whole lot of hope in that holding up there on Meta. And then let's talk about who else is performing poorly on the day. Microsoft faring well, down only 1%. It's really Google and Apple that have really outperformed today. Apple down 0.4, Google down 0.46. Amazon is bleeding as well. We're trying to hold the Bezos shelf. We just wicked down below 200. So if you were waiting for that 200 drop, you got it. But it was a recycled level because we had definitely dropped below 200 on Tuesday. Joseph, 199.86 LOD on Amazon, but it can't catch a bid for its life, dude.
What are we at right now?
We were down to 199.86, down 269 on AMZN. Yeah, it's a real bad look right now, guys, for the market. I really hope everybody is practicing sound risk management skills, and if you're in a long-term position, that you see the bigger picture. Zoom out. I'm not talking about the chart. Zoom out, bigger picture-wise. Is this a company that you like into the future? If it is the current price level a good one, or is there a better price level where support can come in? So I'm trying to talk investment mind now, not trading mind, because on days like this, you question everything. Okay, is the market tanking here? Are we going to have a tough 2025? Or are tariffs really going to hurt things? They're going to throw the market a curveball. Do we go into correction territory? So yeah, zoom out, bigger picture wise for the investors out there. Think about what you want to get from your investment. Like right now, I'm thinking about getting into Pandub over here.
Again,
I punched back in at 190, so I'm $10 out of the money.
Man, that's bold, man.
Yeah, on that bad boy. So I could be adding here at 180 for a couple of shekels. You know what I mean? So we'll throw some orders likely on Pandub.
Man.
Go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to just think here, like, what is your low? What do you think the low in a percentage metric that we see on the Qs and the SPY? Because we're
percentage.
Yeah. So right now we're at 10% roughly.
We are
right,
9.5%.
Yeah. So how much lower do you think we go from here?
It's a tough one, Joe. I mean, it's kind of hard to say because we don't really know the situation unfold. Like right now, what if the tariff situation gets a bit worse, right? Whether it's with China, Mexico, or Canada, or whoever, the reciprocal tariffs, Joseph, 1 month, April 4th. So literally every country in the world who charges a tariff on U.S. companies, they're going to have reciprocal tariffs on them. So now we're not even talking about, a trading block.
So
here.
the market hasn't even priced that in just yet.
Well, I don't know if it has or it hasn't. Like that's the thing. Like the market has been kind of looking at Donald Trump as posturing, and then when it comes to fruition and it looks like it might actually go through, then we get a Tuesday. Yeah. Like when we tank heavy, like today. We're down 3% on the NQ. So it's kind of hard to say whether the market's priced it in or not, or whether they're still kind of be like, oh, we're still in the midst of negotiation. So I don't have an answer for that, only because the situation is super fluid. If we had like an established kind of, trade or a range, I should say, and we pulled back 10% and it was a regular correction, I'd be like, yeah, look for 10, 12% in and around there. But we could get deeper, dude.
I think so.
We could get deeper.
And that's kind of what I was getting at here, Sharif. We know that we went on a pretty strong 2-year run in the markets, guys. And I think that now's the time, especially with what's going on with tariffs, right? So that can affect margins, et cetera.
Bang.
I think that we get to around that mid-teen level in the S&P and in the Nasdaq, right?
Eek.
Right. So a little bit more smoother down, even more, right? So the market can stay significantly irrational longer than we can stay Sullivan or whatever the saying may be, and I think that's what we're going to aim towards, Sharif. I think we get around that 12, 15, even maybe 17.5% correction in the markets here. So that's just my opinion. I could be 1,000% wrong. I could be 1,000% wrong. This could be potentially
reasonable.
I could be so wrong. Like I could be so wrong, but Donald Trump would never say that. But again, here we go. I could be, but let's just take a look at it, right? So we talked in time and time again, is that, okay, the Mag 7, they're all down double digits, around 18, 20%, some of them 20+%, with the likes of Tesla even being down at the lows 45%, probably even more now. The market is lagging, right? So what you got to ask yourself, what is holding it up? And does it have the ability to hold it up? Down 10%. From these highs, another 5% is going to bring us down all the way to, let's see, Let me zoom out a little bit here, guys. Sorry for that. Let me zoom out a little bit more and see what we got going on here. Where's 15% going to bring us from that peak? Wow, ooh, that is real ugly. Okay, that's going to put us around 459 on the NAS. So that's going to bring us all the way back to some June of 24 levels, all right? So that's a hefty correction. I do think that it can come into play because you can see that the volume was picking up here as well. It's not just going to phase off like that. We can get a retest, but again, the corrections take a little bit longer than what you think it's going to, all right? So it's like, yeah, we come here, we fail back in the middle of this zone, and then we make that second leg a little bit lower, and then that's when you're going to get into that 10, 12, even 13, 14% in the correction here in the overall market. So, I mean, the earnings were strong in the mag, but again, you just got to be patient and wait for things to come into play.
Hey, that's what I like to hear, man. All right, done the trade on AEON. We took it out there at 75.5. Now the only bad boy I've got left is this monster over here. Show yourself, monster. ALXO, good look on this one. Still waiting for a 45 print. Elusive target, 44s have been the sell level there. But I'm actually quite interested in getting back into PSTV here. I guess I'm cruising for a bruising because there's a seller at 68, but this one is putting umpteen amount of higher lows above the volume weighted average price. It still has that lower trend line sell where it's just kind of, putting in these lower highs. Looks like we kind of broke it a little bit here, but not by a whole lot. This one bamboozled me because of this candle right here at 105. Where's that 105 candle? Yeah, it was this one where we kind of made that high and then we made a new high above this area, crest over here at 677, and then we drop back down. That's kind of how I got in trouble with this one. This is breaking out though, or at least it seems it is, into 69 pennies. We could be on our way to 70 right now. What's going on over there?
We got some iBits starting to pop for us there, Sharif. Sorry to interrupt you,
brother.
But we got 5,100 people. They've been essentially watching the whole show. Thank you. Someone says thank you, guys. No, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. Day Trader Cut, our guy says he loves the TA from Sharif and I. We love it when you chime into the chat, Day Trader. Much appreciated. 5,000 people watching. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe. We don't ask for much. Continue, Sharif.
Bang. Absolutely. Joseph, well said. Here we go. It went into 80s. Now it's coming down into 68s. Could we pick it up here for a nice little win? Or wow, look at this. Zigging and zagging right back down. This one just can't catch a bid. I think I'm going to leave this one alone. I don't need to, dance with this one while I'm at the green screen. It does have so many different resistance levels on the way up. I'm talking about PSTV. It's just well off the highs, despite the fact that it's at VWAP. I really have a hard time believing it'll be able to curl back up in any real way. So I'm gonna let that one cook, see exactly what comes from it ex post facto while I'm doing my trade assessment. Let's have a look at the mag though, because it's really the mag everybody wants to talk about, especially now with the NQ down 2 2/3. Oh baby. The NQ is the worst faring of the bunch. The Dow is the best of the bunch. I'm talking about the major averages. 1.2 in the red for the Dow, 1.86 and 1.88 for the Russell and the ES respectively. And as I mentioned, the Dow the NQ, the NASDAQ 2.65 on the NASDAQ 100. The worst of the bunch. That tells you obviously that it is a tech-led sell-off over here with the other major averages not faring as worse as the tech-heavy NQ. So you can kind of see that. You don't need to be a chartered market technician to see all the blood we have in these charts. Well off the highs. It started off, we were definitely red on the day. Then the market was going green. Apple popped up into about 238. You had Softy pop up above 400, but down we go again below that $400 level. And I just wonder if NVIDIA can close above 110 today. It's at the low of the day is 110.44. We just weaseled back into 111.50. So it's been a very, very aggressive sell day, despite the fact that we had some decent news catalysts today, at least tariff-related news catalysts with Donald Trump saying that Mexico will not have to pay taxes or tariffs, for a period of a month on all sectors and industries covered by the USMCA. Other areas that were not covered will be subject to tax as well. He did suspend some of the tariffs on the auto industry for Canada and the US. So there were some good, catalysts today if you were looking for, anti-tariff catalysts, I guess is what I'm trying to say ineloquently. But I don't think that the market really kind of bought it this time around, Joseph, and we continue to make lower lows.
Yeah, we're continuing to bleed here, guys. So let's pack our patience a little bit here, hold our horses. We started to piece out here on IBIT. I didn't get a good fill here, which is unfortunate. I should have done a little bit better of a job here. But again, just playing that indecision print here, Gorev on IBIT. Got a nice little pop-up here, my guy, and continuing to climb higher and higher. So there we go. We're going to start to take a little bit more out as we run into some resistance zones. Oh, yeah. See, like, look how quick it gets faded. And it's like, you know what I mean? So you have to almost have those posted. So you just can't be. What do you got going on?
What are your predictions for tomorrow? So I read that article by that woman from Axios, and her predictions and what she thought was going to happen tomorrow at the crypto summit. What are some of your predictions?
Do you want me to simplify? Do you want me to simplify it and just go pump or dump?
Absolutely.
Just like pump or dump.
No.
Right?
Well, give us
a little more. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think it trades higher. I think Bitcoin trades higher depending on the news. We know that the overall market sentiment is weak right now.
Yes.
Something positive, it can light a flame up under it. We know we've been accumulating in Bitcoin itself for a period of time. We've gone through multiple accumulation phases, and we've made only one leg higher. So is this the flame that can bring it, drag it to those new all-time highs? I think so. Let's see what he has to say.
What do you think moves the needle, though?
From a dollar, from a dollar standpoint, what moves the needle? Like, how much is Donald going to want to put in the reserve? Maybe, right? Sure. Like, from a dollar standpoint, maybe what was it, like 10 billion or something, maybe along those lines in Bitcoin? They want to own 1%. Roughly, so roughly they want to own 1%. If they want to stick to that 1%, I don't know, what's 1% of 27 million? Because that's just how many Bitcoin that is, like 2,700 roughly, I think, roughly. So yeah, if he sticks to that 1%, then hopefully my math is right, but yeah, around 2,700 Bitcoin. I think if he sticks to that 1% rule, I think it's going to climb higher and higher. So,
okay. Yeah. I mean, I think we talked about them having about 40 billion already in there, right?
Okay. So it's roughly like that from seized assets, et cetera. Exactly. I think so. Yeah. So, but I mean, from like 1% of Bitcoin, that's what he wants to roughly own, 1 to 2%. I think if he sticks with that, then it's going to put this thing higher.
Put you on the spot again.
Yeah, let's go.
Do we get an announcement tomorrow for a new crypto ETF on one of these like different coins, like Solana?
Oh, like Cardano? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything been in the works. You would definitely hear from the SEC if there's been something along those lines being put in, because we know how long it was dragged out with the IBIT ETF.
But that was different SEC.
So totally right. They didn't have
Gary,
our guy, your guy Gary.
He was a big
over
fan
there.
of crypto.
So you would hear if there was going to be another ETF, you'd hear the works coming out from the SEC.
That's a good point. I mean, something probably would have leaked, and we would have had information about it. What we are talking about, guys. Go ahead.
But I'm pretty sure, didn't something just pass where meme coins aren't classified as a security now? So
they're not.
Okay,
but that doesn't mean you can't have an ETF.
Okay, that's fair.
Bitcoin is not a security; it has an ETF.
That's fair. Yeah.
What we are talking about, guys, in case you joined the conversation a little bit late, tomorrow from 1:30 to 5:30. There's a major crypto conference at the White House, or summit, whatever you want to call it. Apparently, Donald Trump will be there. So will the AI and the crypto czar, David Sachs, who I really like and is my favorite, a member of the All In podcast, hands down. Get it, Adara. He's going to be there tomorrow. Lots of big names as well. Brian Armstrong. You're going to have, what's his name, Michael Saylor. I didn't see anything about the Winklevoss twins, but it stands to reason that they might be there as well. We will see. We will be covering the beginning part of that for you on the How to Trade show during the midday. It starts at 1:30, and then the big kahunas will take over for the rest. It goes to 5:30. I'm very interested. If you're in crypto, it behooves you probably to lend an ear tomorrow as well during that time.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tune in tomorrow, but make sure you guys tune in tonight, because it's going to be me and your guy Katina Man on the Market Recap Show. That's going to be a face slapper. There we go, and that's it, guys. Send it off to the big boys.
Take care, guys.
And one more. There you go for you, Joe. There you go for Joe.
Get it, Joe.
Yeah, buddy. And look, man, this market, it's been bleeding. I heard these guys say at one point, I was, putting makeup on, and